All right. Let's get in. All right. So, we begin our tale in the grand city of Cambria, a massive cliffside island city just off the coast of the mainland that rises out of the ocean thousands of feet. At the base of this landmass, swarms of gulls and osprey circle near the crashing waves. Some diving down into the Barbassian Sea, emerging victorious with fish in their bills. Others, especially during low tide, perch upon the rocks near the base, pecking for filter feeders from their hiding places. The city spans roughly 30 square miles and connects back to the mainland by a massive architectural wonder of limestone. Anduin's Bridge, 300 feet wide across and 50 miles long. This bustling bridge is a city in itself, with houses, inns, shops. Some of you came to Cambria by crossing this bridge. Others, this is your home. You've never left it, nor have you seen the world beyond the bridge. And some arrived by ship, via the cliffside port. This port, greeted by the hand-carved limestone likeness of Anduin himself, just a few hundred feet from where the caravels and mostly merchant ships port. A massive beacon lit to guide sailors when the fog creeps in. His hand and chin raised to the sky, lips parted, as if in mid-sentence addressing the heavens. The harbor itself is carved from the cliffside, with a series of staircases leading up the face of the cliff. A variety of massive wooden pulleys and cranes from the bustling city above are constantly raising and lowering imports and exports. The city has seen an influx of visitors as of late. The autumn holiday of Freesia's advent has arrived. A week-long celebration. The entirety of the city is dressed with freesia blooms, magically bringing reminiscence of spring as autumn kisses it farewell. Garlands of freesia hang from between windowsills, creating a gaped canopy between buildings. They coil up lampposts and are worn in the hair of the Lacambrians and visitors alike. The power of the great Revenir Thorne herself enchants the very nature of this city, as a light, gentle flurry of petals spiral down in the streets, kissing the cheeks of visitors and native Lacambrians alike. Fate. The right time, the right place, the right person. A series of decisions that led you all to Cambria during Freesia's advent. At this moment, the moment you met Revenir Thorne, and she brought you all together. Let's start with our first character introduction. Revenir Thorne leans in and inhales the sweet scent of the beautifully draped freesia to cover the entirety of the grand stone theater of Cambria. Her long, black, wavy hair, and actually, let's show our audience here what Revenir Thorne looks like. Go ahead and do that. Yes, art. Beautiful, beautiful art for the audience. Her long, black, wavy hair blows slightly in the breeze. Few turquoise beads threaded throughout her hair. She dons a thick black cloak, pours down to her ankles, and the cloak itself is embroidered with black thread that rises from the fabric with a vine-like embossed design that accent the edges of her cloak. It's faded and worn near the bottom, but a memento is always treasured. Beneath her cloak, there are intricate flourishes of brown tanned leathers embossed with florals that extend past her wrists, vines that wrap around her neck and up her shoulders. Hanging from her neck, a small, elegant necklace. Gold filigree vine chain with a single emerald inlaid with leaves around the edges. Looped over the chain and dangling next to the emerald is a wedding band. As she thinks, her thumb and forefinger hold onto it, kind of twisting it over in her hands. Ethereal glowing moths flutter around her face, occasionally perching on her shoulders or head. They fade in and out as they flutter about. She looks up, her eyes giving off a low glow of amethyst, as the people move across the stage. They're setting up for the first show. Although of her own invention, This was always her favorite attraction at Freesia's advent. It's a way she could share a part of her world with Cambria. What seems to be the stage manager makes his way to the center stage. There are a few people that have wandered in. Oi! Right, would anyone like to be in the show? Might I add, this would be a great honour, this one, if not the biggest show in Cambria, this one right here. Great opportunity, someone with experience preferably. Amelia, would you like to introduce your character?
Yes. So, kind of hovering in one of the aisles, you see a very small halfling, pretty young, but an adult. She has blonde, curly hair that is as kept as a halfling's hair can be. She has these glassy blue eyes that look like they're made of glass. She has fair skin. She wears a red cloak over black and gray leathers, and she has black boots. And if you happen to catch her feet, you can see that the soles are missing.
All right. So anybody at all?
I'd like to try.
All right, wonderful. You a bit a little taller, but that's fine. Yes, of course. Come here, you. Your name is
Lorelei.
Lorelei. All right, here you go. If you know how to use rope, I'm sure you have experience as one of the prerequisites.
She had her hand kind of on her belt, pulling her cloak back a little bit, hovering over what looks like a flute that's kind of white, not a typical flute. And she says, "Oh, it's that kind of show. Oh, yes, I have that experience as well."
Wonderful. Here's your rope. You want to make sure that you line it up here, right? We're gonna be hanging some freesia down like a curtain, so you just want to wrap it around, and you have experience. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. All right, thank you so much. All right, I'm gonna go get. There's someone else volunteering over here. If you have any questions, you let someone else know. All right, and he just kind of walks off.
I guess I'll freestyle then. Not walk on over.
All right, so you there's a ladder that kind of goes up the side of the stage. Right now, what the stage looks like, it's bare bones. Like, imagine if you stripped away the curtains and all of the background scenes. It's just like the kind of bones of the operation, because they're going to be using freesia everywhere instead of backdrop scenes and curtains and such. So there are people going up the ladders, and they're beginning to take the rope that they have coiled freesia garlands around, and they're just kind of stranding them all together across the top of the stage.
Okay, does my rope have freesia yet?
No, it does not.
Okay, then I will decorate it.
All right. Flamboyantly. All right. What does that look like? Is it just... What does flamboyant garland look like?
It's as full as she can make it.
Okay.
If there's extra freesia laying around, like, she's going for it.
Okay. So where the others are evenly spaced, I'm guessing it's just like a sausage of freesia, just very like caked together.
Yes.
All right. So you take the time to do that, and what do you do next?
I will climb up the ladder.
Okay, you climb up the ladder.
So I'd like to. Is there like a catwalk or a runway?
Yeah.
Or...
So yeah, there would be a catwalk runway between the two ladders on the sides.
Yeah. So I'll make it to center stage. I'll take my rope and tie it, secure it above center stage, and let it drop.
Okay.
And then I'll go back down.
Okay.
And I'll say, "Does this look all right? I'd like to try my routine before, a live performance." a live audience sees it, and she will start an aerial performance.
Like as you're speaking, he just kind of like tilts his head to the side, cause like, and he's confused for a moment, and then you say aerial performance, and he's like, but like he can't even get out like no before you start. I guess what you like swing around like Tarzan. Is that what's happening?
He climbs up, like aerial silks.
Oh yes, where they're like,
Yeah.
when they're grabbing on and they're just flipping and doing things that I could never do. Okay, make a performance check.
Oh, yes. I will do that.
First roll of the campaign.
First roll.
Oh dear, the pressure. Oh. Okay, it's fine.
Well, so what was that? Go ahead and announce your roll.
It was a 13.
It was a 13?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you begin to like, I guess you do the run, the starting run, and you grab it in your hands and you kind of trip a little bit, but then you like turn and you go swinging around. Your feet are like hitting the Freesia that's already hanging as the curtain, and the people are like, "Oh my god, what are you doing?" and then the stage manager is like, "What? That is no, that you're gonna root. What are you doing? Get down!" And then you're just like monstrously like swinging around, and like Freesia's just flying as your feet hit it, your arms hit it, and make a dexterity save.
Oh my gosh, no. Okay. That's a 24.
Okay, good for you, not for someone else. So you fly, you're flying around on this Freesia sausage rope that you've put together, and you see this one of the other stagehands, that he's in the middle of like working up some Freesia on a sandbag pulley system, and your foot comes around, and he tries to dodge it, and you try to dodge the bag. And it works in a way that he ends up getting tangled up in the pulley as your other foot hits the other side, the other rope, and he immediately goes and he flies up by the foot, and he's hanging upside down like, "Somebody help me, what the fuck?" and everyone's just like, the stage manager runs up to you, takes the Freesia out of your hands, and he's like, "Oh, that is enough. Go, before I tell somebody of high authority to come arrest you."
That's what rehearsals are for.
Well, you are a stagehand. You're not going to be in the show.
Oh.
The rope, garland, stage.
I'll be on my way.
That would be preferable. Yes, that would be very preferable.
Very
preferable. Now would be better than later. As you kind of like begin to kind of scurry away from this moment, Revenir approaches you. Of course, you don't know who this is. And she just kind of walks up to you, and she goes, "Well, that was very interesting. What's your name?"
Lorelei.
Lorelei, that's a beautiful name. You're not from the Cambria, are you?
No.
You're very different, very unique. You have a interesting perspective. The way you kind of read the world. Are you looking for something?
In a way. Why do you ask?
You know, the Grand Stone Theater of the Cambria might not have the role that you're looking for now. However, I do have another role to offer should you be interested. I'm looking for someone like yourself. Persistent, searching, curious, different. She kind of smiles with that last part. You remind me of an old friend. Would you be interested?
Where do I sign up?
She just smiles at you. Wonderful. Go to the Fool's Gold Tavern this evening. There will be a table for you, and I'll let one of my associates know that you're coming. That's all you need to do.
And your name?
Oh, I'm Revenir. I'm Revenir Thorne.
Her face just goes jaw to the floor.
And she immediately is like, please, I'm. They really blow up my name more than I think is necessary. I'm just like you. But
I'll be there.
it was a pleasure to meet you, Lorelai. I'm very eager to get to know you more.
You as well.
Beautiful name. I'll see you at the Fool's Gold Inn. It was a pleasure of meeting you. And unless you have anything else to say, she will make her way out of the stage area. And I do want to point out she did have her hood on too, so like the whole entirety of the theater would have been like, "Oh my gosh, it's Revenir Thorne! Look at that!" Yeah. Okay, just to point that out. All right.
Before I leave the theater, I just turn around and go,
And in your own like personal world, you showed them. Wonderful. The clock moves ahead, and we find ourselves in the port district of Cambria. The typical import and exports continue to thrive within this well-oiled machine of a city, yet the docks are even more crowded with the influx of tourists during Freesia's advent. The cliffside staircase is cramped as visitors eagerly make their way toward the promise of free food and drink. This sea of humanity, of people, make their way into the heart of the city. Yet, one individual stands out among them. While others have their minds on themselves, the festivities, the food and the drink, the activities that they're going to enjoy, this one seeks something else. Brandon, would you like to introduce your character?
All right. Sitting on a crate a bit away from the crowd, like near an alleyway, we see Uramir. He's a tiefling. He's got deep red, kind of orangey skin. His hair is twisted into like messy, nappy dreadlocks that kind of sit between his horns that curve down underneath his ears. His face is smudged with oil and dirt. You can tell he looks like a working man. Um, he's got almond-shaped eyes that are they look like pools of black that kind of shine when the light hits them. Uh, well, he's wearing a tattered cloak. It looks like it's been patched up more than a few times. His shirt's a bit too small and his pants are a bit too big, but his belt's the right size though. He's got Smith's tools hanging from his waist. His tools look really worn from daily use. And on his feet, he wears one work boot and one fancy elven shoe. He's got a faded leather messenger bag slung around his shoulder. It's filled with a bunch of interesting things he's picked up. Sometimes it jingles when he walks. He's just kind of sitting there. Every now and again, he'll look up and look at the crowd of people, but nobody really pays him any mind. But of course, he's used to that.
All right. What is Uramir doing right now?
He's got his head in his hands, and he's thinking. He's kind of tapping his foot, the foot has the work boot on. He's just tapping his foot, and he's thinking. He's he's trying to figure out a Rubik's cube in his head. He looks like he's hit a brick wall, and he's kind of trying to calculate his next move.
Okay. So you kind of just stand there and people are moving past you. Some of them like bump into you very rudely, then not even bother to apologize. Some the sea it's almost like you're a rock in a river and the river is moving around you at this point.
Yeah.
You see a captain and some of his crew carrying barrels. You see another set of sailors that are talking one-on-one with another.
I'll walk over to the sailors. Kind
Okay.
of head down, kind of approach them really slowly. Excuse me, gentlemen.
Yes? What can I help you with?
Um, I'm I'm in search of someone.
Ain't we all, aren't we? Huh. Is it a girl?
Uh, no, afraid not.
You have an interesting... Don't really match. Did you know?
Yeah, it's my personal style.
Just never seen that before, have you? No, I hadn't seen that either. That's weird. They're they don't get out much. Oh, well, so you're not looking for a girl? You know, what could we do to help you? I don't know what you look for.
I'm looking for a man.
A mine?
A man.
Oh, a man. Ah. I was about to say, you're not going to find that at the port. A man. Okay.
Yes. I don't quite remember his face, but he had on a red cloak, very striking red cloak. You'd probably know it if you saw it.
Okay, a red cloak. That narrows it down a lot.
Ermin just sighs deeply and shakes his head.
You see the crew member next to him is just kind of very blank faced, kind of glassy eyed, and he's just kind of like staring at you like
Do you know of any ships leaving the port soon?
Leaving the port soon. Most ships are coming in, honestly. Lots of imports of goods for Freesia's advent. Not really know of any that are leaving. We just got here, so we don't know about the other ships.
I don't think you can help me. Thank you for your time, though.
Of course. Good luck with finding the person with the red coat. No, it was a cloak. Not a coat, a cloak.
Yeah, as they're talking back and forth, they're just
yeah, it's like Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Kind of defeated looking. Yeah. He'll just continue to kind of float through the crowd, through the sea of people, as he's kind of more in his head than he's not really paying attention to what's around him, so he could be bumping into people. And you see it
looks like a captain kind of directing his crew that were carrying the barrels.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Does it look like they're where are they taking the barrels? Are they taking them off the ship?
They're taking them off the ship.
Okay. Yeah, he'll walk over to the captain. Wait for him to kind of notice him as he's directing. He'll kind of clear.
You can see he's like in the middle of like directing his crew, and he's like, "You remember to sell them that the golden pearl. You remember, and the fool's gold that these limes came straight from the yawning lady, courtesy of the captain for Freesia's advent. Make sure they taste them, and you lock them in with an exclusive import agreement. Do you understand? They cannot say no to such a generous offer. Do you hear me?" And the men are like, yeah, like, that is not the attitude I want. I want to hear it again, I swear to God. And they're just like, yeah, we're gonna do this. Oh yeah, what can I do for you? What do you need? You do the whole, I mean, I've been around people enough to know what that means, you know.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
You should be. I am a busy man. Come, let's go. What do you need? Do you want limes? They are the best. They are the best. You can't get limes anywhere else. But you're going to have to go to the Fool's Gold. Unless you have coin, then I can pay you now. But it is not free poker.
I'm a bit light on coin, I'm afraid.
Well, I think that it means our conversation is over. Like I said, I will go now. Thank you. And he just kind of like walks off.
Right. Yeah, he'll go just sit on a barrel Mhm.
Okay. You sit on this barrel for a little while. You continue to watch this captain direct his crew and the rest of the people having these goals and objectives and busy with their own lives and their own lives. And you kind of get lost in that moment for a second. The crowd just kind of drones, and it's almost like a deprivation tank where you just kind of sink inside your eyes, inside yourself. And you kind of double blink for a moment, and there's someone sitting next to you on the barrel next to you. Cloak covering their face. You seem to need some help, sir. Have you lost something?
Are you talking to me?
I am.
Um, well,
It's a
not
beautiful cloak.
this old thing.
Beautiful seamstress. Must have made that. My own mother, she embroidered this one. I've kept it with me ever since. It's a little
Really?
worn at the bottom, but I'd never give it up.
Yeah, my mother actually patched this one up for me. Yeah, it's
She just
very
smiles.
special.
She turns her face towards you, and you can see the glowing amethyst eyes.
Do I recognize? Can I see enough to see who she is?
There aren't a lot of people who have glowing amethyst eyes and moths that flutter around their face.
He kind of does a double take. He's like,
You would
"You're-
definitely know from based because you're from here.
You're Revenir Thorne.
I am, I am, but
What's you doing out here with us?"
us, I'm looking for people. People I think are more than what they think they are. I'm actually in need of help myself. I know that you are in need as well. And I could use someone like you.
For what?
It's not something that I would. She kind of like looks around. Would say out loud amongst other ears, but. Where are you from?
I'm from here. Well, from beneath here. I live in the Undercity.
She just kind of nods, like she knew the answer to the question. I know what's going on down there. Well, not all of it, but I need to know more about what's going on down there. And you can believe in me. I'd like to believe in you as well. Maybe we can fix this big mess. She just kind of shakes her head.
My mother used to tell me stories about you. They were all good.
I try to be the best that I can and do the best that I can. I'm only one person. I know that you all are angry. I have not forgotten you all. I promise you. It's what I'm trying to fix right now.
What can I do to help?
We can speak more. I can tell you what I know, and I hope that you can tell me what you know. If you meet at the Fool's Gold Inn this evening, and I'm bringing in some others to help as well.
All right. I could use your help with something else as well.
Of course, I'm surprised you didn't ask sooner. I did notice that you were in need.
Yeah, he kind of takes a deep breath like he's remembering something painful. He says, "It's my father. He was taken."
Hagen, do you know who by?
Um,
I mean,
Yes,
that's the best place to start, of course.
Revenir kind of looks around the same way she did. He says, he kind of leans in close to her. He says, there's an organization. They call themselves Hush. My father, he worked for them, and when he tried to leave, they took him, and they took a part of me as well. Very dangerous.
Yeah, she looks down and sees that your artificial arm.
Yeah, he kind of tries to hide it underneath his cloak.
There's no need to hide it. You should be yourself. You're no different than anyone else.
Yeah, okay.
Hush.
Have you heard of them?
She just kind of like, as you say, have you heard of them? She just kind of, her eyes snap back up very quickly to yours. Yes, I heard some things about them. Quite destructive, and they've done some terrible things that I can't imagine what I don't know that they've done, but the things that I have heard, nothing to be trifled with, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I will see what I can do, and we'll talk more of this. Let me speak with some people that Fool's Gold Inn. You'll be there.
Yes, of course.
Until we meet again, Revenir.
For the first time since this whole encounter, he kind of cracks a smile.
She shakes your artificial hand. She kind of puts her other hand on the other side of it. She just smiles. Like she reaches in and takes it out from underneath your cloak. She shakes it, and she just puts her hand on top of it, and she smiles at you. And she just kind of bows her head. So then, she will walk off. Before she leaves, she will say one more thing. She'll say, Fool's Gold Inn shouldn't be too hard to find, Revenir. It's near the entrance to the Cambria, by Andron's Bridge. There's a full moon tonight. It should light your way. And then she'll leave.
Revenir's just kind of staring at his artificial arm as she walks off.
All right. The clock moves once more, and we move into the crowded streets of Crowsben. Not crowded by the amount of people per se, but how cramped together all the houses are. Night has fallen, and darkness blankets the city. A very large road cuts straight through Crowsben, all the way to Niveau Maximum, from Andron's Bridge. The tourists tend to stay on that road, and why wouldn't they? It's familiar, and there are lots of businesses that purposefully line the streets to capture the attention of visitors finishing their pilgrimage across the bridge. However, that's not where we start in this case. We start instead in the northeast part of Crowsben, where a curious mind and extremely naive heart wanders too close to the entrance of the Undercity, a part of the city eagerly awaiting to relieve weary travelers from the burden of coin purse. Danny, would you like to introduce your character?
Yes. In the midst of the rabble scattered across the ground and the cluttered tents he's weaving through, lining the path, is a face lit up with a smile, a bright and oblivious smile. And he's just looking around with these large, dark green eyes in amazement, even though it doesn't seem like it would be much to somebody who lives here, but he's just amazed by everything. His blonde hair is braided back into several strands, tied out of his face by a piece of twine he probably found on the ground. Most noticeable about his clothing is the green cloak that he wears, covered in a design of leaves. It's tattered and visibly worn down from wind and rain. And the freckles on his nose are smudged with salt and dirt. But despite that, he's looking pretty optimistic.
Of course he is.
Yes. And clasped in his hands is a large map with probably like a big dirty footprint on the back. So obviously he probably found it on the ground as well. And he is peering down at it and then looking up and then peering down at it and looking up, obviously very lost and very confused. And he keeps whispering to himself, Desmodonna has got to be in one of these tents. She's just gotta be. And he's kind of like looking past the aisles, trying to like look through the cracks in the tents. And if you notice, if you look closer, he is actually talking to somebody in particular. He keeps glancing down as he says this. There's a small head of a snake just past his sleeve. And it's a splash of like red and yellow and orange. It's a very beautiful snake head. And as he talks to it, there's a tongue that just flicks out across his palm, kind of in like a silent response. And he just keeps saying, well, let's just keep seeing, I don't know, let's keep asking who we come across. Chances are somebody will know, right? There's got to be someone around here. I feel like we passed that tent before, but every one of them looks the same.
So you continue to kind of like stumble through this part of town and continuously getting to a worse part of town, and you kind of stumble upon a rotting fish in a muddied puddle, and you kind of see like there are maggots crawling out of its eyes and its gills, and just like kind of squirming around. And
that's really sad.
You see two men approach you, and the eldest of the two looks at you and he goes, "You lost little lamb?"
Hi. Oh, yes, I am lost, actually. But my name is not Little Lamb. But, I mean, my name is Finelai. What's your name?
That's fine. We could call you Finelai. My name is Jared. And this is my associate, Martin.
Nice to meet you, Jared and Martin.
He's really more of my son, but we're in what you call a business of sorts together.
Oh, that's okay. So what's your business?
We procure things from individuals.
Okay.
Well, would you like to meet my other associates? They're down this corridor over here. We're gonna take a left, and you see that dark corridor right down there in the alleyway?
Yeah.
Would you like to meet them? They're just the friendliest bunch. They're gonna love you.
Sure. I mean, I don't think I really have much for you to procure, though. I don't have anything much except this map.
Well, let's go find it. Maybe there's something that we can do for you. We could probably help you with that map if you want to come over here.
Okay. Yeah, I'll follow you. Do you know this woman named Desmodonna?
Oh, right. And like the guy just kind of puts his arm around you and he just kind of like leads you down to this dark alleyway. And you just go willing, I guess.
Yeah. This is good. I mean, they're actually willing to talk to me, and usually they're just looking at me suspiciously and walking away. So
you just kind of like, you're just happy-go-lucky, and like they lead you down to this dark, unlit alleyway, out of the main area, and
Can you actually see in here? Can humans actually see in the dark?
As you enter the alleyway, you see there are 6 men in total now in the alley, and they all pull out their blades, and as they do, you see the Freesia that's hanging here fly down and wrap and coil around each of these 6 men, and they just go like, and then the other one, another one is like, oh my god, who the hell did you capture? What? We don't work with wizards, we work with people who don't know nothing. And like they're all kind of like bickering amongst themselves, like, it's your fault. What? Who the hell is this? And they just start yelling at you, let us go now. And then they get really quiet. And you get this feeling. I'm pretty sure you have a high passive perception. You have high enough. You get this feeling that there's someone standing behind you.
Okay. It wasn't me, I swear. I don't even know how it did that. I mean, that was really cool, but I don't... Just gonna turn around and... Oh.
You see like purple glowing eyes coming out from underneath the hood, and like a hand raised that's kind of like glowing green. Are you hurt?
Me? No. They look more hurt than I do.
They're just restrained at the moment. And she just kind of walks over to one of them. She says, you steal on Freesia's advent. Curious choice when so much is given during this holiday. And you see the one that she's talking to like kind of squint his eyes, and she removes like the kind of like hovering over his face so he can speak, and he immediately starts cursing her. They scream, you are a fake, a liar, you're a great pretender, that's what you are. We'll just continue to starve. All these people above will continue to swim in their coin. And she's just quiet for a moment. And she takes a deep breath and kind of sighs and looks, like her head kind of tilts down. And she kind of turns her head slightly, like recognizing that you're still like behind her. And her eyes will glow blue for a moment. She'll kind of whisper, desperate, cold, urgency. Sarah. Trails off, and the man's eyes go wide at the mention of the name Sarah. She loosens the vines immediately, and they just kind of drop, and they just kind of like get up and like they're about to run, but they're kind of like they're scared something's gonna happen, like she's gonna hurt them. And she loosens coin purse. She holds it out, hands it to the man. It jingles. I mean, it's got a lot of, you can tell it's got a lot of coin in there. And he kind of just like, he's shaking, and he reaches out, and then he kind of pulls it back like he's still afraid that this is like a trick. She goes, it's not a trick. I've never forgot. City beneath. Make no mistake. And she takes his hand and she puts the bag in it. And he's still like, he's shaking. She says, go. Sarah needs you. And they just, like a cartoon, they just take off. She turns back around. And when she gets close enough to you and she sees your face, like she approaches you and you see her eyes are that amethyst again and they're glowing. She tilts her head, she furrows her brow, and she just studies your face intensely for a moment. And she seems kind of confused at first, and she's just kind of like, it looks like she's like just ingraining every detail of your face, trying to memorize it all, like, and study it. Who are you?
Well, for starters, my name's Finali. Or Finn, for short. If that's really what you're asking.
I am, you're not from here.
No.
No, you're not. You wouldn't have wandered over here if you were.
I mean, I'm a little lost, but are those guys really starving?
Yes.
Why?
That's a good question. One that I'm trying to solve, as they should not. You know, we all have a purpose, a path. And there are moments, some call it coincidence, others fate. You know, I think Vera has brought us together this night. Perhaps we can help each other. I need aid to fix that problem that's seeping to the ground.
So as he hears the name Vera, he's gonna, like, the map is gonna just, like, crumple in his hand.
Are you okay? I'm not gonna hurt you, I promise.
Yeah, I'm fine. And his eyes are gonna drift down, and does he see the symbol of Vera on her cloak?
Oh yeah. It would be embroidered around the bottom with the florals from her mother's.
So he's just going to realize and notice that all of a sudden, and he's just gonna be like, okay, all right, it's fine. It's totally fine. Yes, purpose, path, right. Yes. Sorry, it's just your cloak. And the mention of Vera, it brings back memories. And yeah.
I don't mean to bring back bad memories for you. I apologize if I have. Can try to not?
No, it's fine. It's totally fine. And I am on the same page with you as far as fate and paths and everything like that goes. I mean, I imagine we all have our own paths that sometimes, intertwine, even if we don't expect it.
That's true. I mean, if we took Vera, all the gods out of the equation, I would say that this task that I need aid with is something that would help people in general. People in a lot of need right now. I'm not sure what exactly is happening underneath the city. I have some leads and I've heard some things, but I would really need your help to fix it. I'm looking for someone with a kind heart. See the world through innocent eyes. I'm gathering some other individuals as well. I think your perspective and who you are would be a great addition, as well as helping them with things that they cannot see. You provide a strength where their weaknesses are.
Me? Me. I want to help people, so yes, that absolutely. I mean, that's kind of why I came here, in a way.
Are you looking for something? And perhaps there's something I can help you with in return for helping me with this.
Yes, I am looking for Desmadonna. I thought she might be in one of these tents, so that's why I was looking in this area.
Desmadonna. Desi?
Yes.
Desi Desmadonna?
Maybe she has a nickname like that. I don't know. But I have a package I need to deliver to her, and
Ooh.
And he's gonna pull it out of his pack, and it's this little lead box. See?
She just immediately walks up and just kind of like puts her hand on it and like, keep that in your pocket. If you have business with Desmadonna, that is not something you should. Who entrusted you with this?
Oh, then he puts it back in his pack. I kind of had a bit of a run-in with a pirate, or a few pirates, maybe a ship full of pirates, and in order to gain my freedom from them, I need to find her and just deliver this package, which seems easy enough.
See, I would keep it quiet and maybe not run around the city saying those names.
How am I supposed to find her if I keep it quiet?
What did this pirate tell you to do? Just to
Well,
go around asking for her name? I've heard that name before, and she's a interesting, ferocious person. We'll just put it at that.
I was thinking, she did say that Desmodonna would find me, but then I was thinking about it, and I'm thinking, how is Desmodonna going to find me if she doesn't even know how I look, or my name, or anything, really? I mean,
I think Desmodonna's pretty good at finding people, as she is a bounty hunter.
oh. I see.
Yeah, she will most likely find you. I'm very interested in this box, but I think I should probably keep my hands out of that. I'll have to think on that one. That is settling.
I'm sure it'll be okay.
Yes,
Hopefully.
Perhaps there's a way that we can figure out your box situation, but the task at hand. So you are interested in helping then?
Yes, I am.
Wonderful.
What do I need to do?
Tonight, and obviously it's dark, but you will go to the Fool's Gold Inn. You seem to need directions, so let me help you with that. And she kind of like turns up and she points at the star in the night sky, and she goes, "You see this cluster here? This is Cassian. It's a great champion of the Lady Vera. Sorry, but that is the star constellation. And you know all this. You actually know all this, but she doesn't know that you know this. He fought the new Pantheon, protecting her before her long sleep. See, this is his cloak." She swirls her fingers around, pointing things out. "And over here, this is his sword. And right here is his bow. And you see this large star? The tip of an arrow is knocked. It points east always. Follow it, and you will find your way."
Thank you. I have one last question. And I'm sorry if it's no means to be disrespectful, ma'am, but I just had a question as to, have you ever heard Lady Vera? Like, has she ever talked to you before?
There are many different types of listening. Not everything is verbal. It's this... You ever felt in love? You can't see love, but you feel it. It's kind of what, it is for me with Vera. She has sent great beasts to commune with me. And in ways I think she brought back my memories so long ago. There's a story for another time. Yes, I think she speaks with me. Just not in your conventional way of communicating through your lips.
I see. Thank you,
Of course.
ma'am.
You don't need to call me ma'am. Although I am over 100, so... She just kind of laughs at her own joke there for a second. But yes, Fool's Gold Inn. You'll meet some others there. I think that'll be interesting. Till then.
Thank you. I'll make sure to keep on the path.
That star, not that way. That way.
Right, wait. That way, right.
Yes. Wonderful. And she just kind of walks off, but she does a couple back turnarounds to make sure, like a parent watching a toddler, making sure that they're not gonna fall in the pool, And she walks off. We move with the clock once more. The streets of Crowsben are some of the filthiest in Cambria. Urchins and cutpurse lurk around every corner, and every home without a stone roof has a leak. However, there is one shining beacon of light amongst the shadow, the dragon's hoard. The bleached white skull of a black dragon looms over the casino, and long curving tusks almost brush the hair of the guests. Inside, table games of chance are accented by bright chromatic cards, strong honey whiskey, and dark ales assertive with bitterness. At one table, a group of 4 individuals are chancing high stakes. A female human with her hood drawn smiles as she eyes her cards. She has dewy caramel skin with dark black wavy hair and draws in a deep breath from her elkhorn pipe, resting in her hands. The bowl of the pipe depicts a large man-o'-war breaking out over a large wave. She smiles as she exhales purple smoke that gradiates to a bright fuchsia, gently releasing it from her nostrils. The scent of what seems to be sage and lilac slowly and subtly trickle from her direction. A brass dragonborn sits at this table as well. He cuts his eyes among the other players regularly, and his toes can be heard rapping impatiently from underneath the table. Next to him, another player rubs his forefinger and thumb together as he eyes his own hand. Stocky-built human with chocolate brown hair, he does his best to keep his green eyes from betraying him. And lastly, sitting among them all, Daniel, would you like to introduce your character?
Yes, I would. So, sitting among these other players at the table is a rather tall tiefling. He's pale, like the moon. 2 long, curving horns start around his eyebrows, giving him this really pronounced kind of forehead. They run nearly flush all the way down the back of his skull as they sharpen to a point behind his head, like a antelope looking up during like the circle of life. His black hair is loosely pulled back, and his locks flow wispily in the tavern. His eyes are a deep sunset orange with flecks of turquoise and gold, like the ever-present dusk of the Feywild. He's wearing an orange cotton shirt with a deep V, and that's been laced together with these thin leather strings. He's probably taller than everyone here, and probably even the Dragonborn. They're probably about the same height, 5'5" or 6'5", 6'6", somewhere in that range. Broad shoulders, but his chest is thin, like kind of caved in somehow. Right now, he's leaning back with his foot propped up on his knee, with a mug of ale in one hand and a wild smile that is overpowering, that reveals this kind of pointed, almost vampire-like canine teeth right here. And he's sitting there enjoying his drink.
All right. So you are playing cards with these individuals.
Yes,
and
I am.
While you're sitting there, Volpa, who you haven't, I don't think you just did you mention her?
I did not. Around my feet is this little kind of gray fox with these black spots. She kind of like moves in a figure 8 style around my feet, and I constantly like pull pieces of bread off the table from the snacks or the chips or whatever we have, and I'm always giving her scraps. She's always sitting there. I give her little scritches, and move on.
So while you're sitting there, Volpa, your fox, perks her head up, and she just like jerks her head as if she has heard something. And she stays in this kind of like alarmed state for a moment, like, you know, like when dogs point and they're just kind of like, and they don't even blink. And then she takes off. She never leaves your side. This is very strange.
I look at my cards. It's a good hand. I'll get it later.
The Dragonborn next to you pipes up and he goes, "Can't keep a good hand. Not surprising you can't keep your mongrel in line either." Waste a good meat. Would make a really, really good sandwich with that.
Oh, you shut your mouth. How about that? Like that fox been with me for years. You don't know nothing. Besides, look at your pile of gold. You ain't got nothing. Jesus, I call. And I put in whatever amount he has. But that.
I call too. The green-eyed man just kind of like, nothing short of a liar with horns like that. And he continues to hold his card as he considers whether he should also call.
That's a lot of big talk for someone who's 5'7".
You don't know what cards I got.
Not good ones.
He just kind of like, a call.
I look at my hand, realizing it's not that good. I wink at him.
He kind of like, he looks at his coins and he starts counting. And like,
there'll be time enough counting when the deal is done, my friend.
And the woman kind of leans over and she goes, you do not have enough. And he's like, Roy, can't really count that well either. And he just kind of like folds his hand and he just looks demoralized. And then the woman goes, I will call bluff. She kind of like looks at her coins for a second, pursing on her lips.
I'll do you one better. Here, I take my whole stack, all in.
She just kind of like puts a finger on her lips as she looks down. She nods and she goes, I will call bluff. I have something to call with.
Sweetheart, you don't have the coin. It's not here at the table. And real quick, I'll use thaumaturgy to make it sound like the violin string in the background broke and it made a loud noise and try to get her attention as I do some quick sleight of hand.
Yeah, make a sleight of hand roll.
Yeah. This is gonna go well. I'm sure. Ooh. That's a 13.
All right. She doesn't blink. She goes, I have something to call with. A magic wagon. She kind of like places like a small wooden carving of a wagon. It is real.
Is that the one you rolled in on?
It is. You have nothing. Not sure.
I take about 2 more platinum pieces from my pocket and I throw them on top because I feel like the card's worth a little bit more. I bet. And I flip my cards. Hopefully they're good.
They are good. And she flips her over and she goes, Cheat! That is not возможно.
Whoa. Are you kidding me? That's a bold accusation.
I saw you do it.
You didn't see nothing.
What'd
you see, Dragonborn? You see anything?
The Dragonborn just kind of like, he's drunk a little bit, and he's like...
What about you, Emerald Eyes? You see anything?
As this like confrontation is starting to erupt, like immediately bouncers, very large, kind of like barbarian type guys, walk
Somebody come
over.
get us. Follow me, cheat after I've won fair and square.
They walk over, and she goes, "Cheat! Cheat! That is not Vaznoja!" And she just continues to curse that over and over
Look
again.
at the cards, they're right
and,
here. Last day.
And one of the bouncers is like, "Oi, what's this all about?"
Just call my
He's
goddamn
a
sheriff
cheat!
with it.
And the Dragonborn goes, "I didn't see anything." And the green-eyed man is like, "I didn't either." And she just glares at both of them. She's like, "I will kill both of you."
Hey, these two are good, honest men. I can vouch for them myself.
And and the other two men just kind of like look at you, the bouncers and like the Dragonborn, and like they're starting to look a little frustrated with the situation because it's become this no you. So make a deception check.
Oh no, I'm good at these. That's okay. Oh, another 10, which is better. Back-to-back 10s. I believe that's a 13.
Okay. Let's see. All right.
Yeah, 13.
They go, "I think you owe this man whatever you bought. Your chips, madame."
Honest chaps, these lot, of course. Yeah, you heard him, Desi.
And she's just like, she looks like she's gonna haul off and punch you, but like these bouncers are extremely intimidating, and a couple more bouncers walk over, and she very quickly realizes that she's outnumbered.
It's not the first time someone's wanted to punch me over cards.
She leans in. She goes, she kind of like whispers to you, "You'll make enemies this day."
And you was caught this day.
"I will find you, Samson, and I will take back what you have stolen. You are a cheat, regardless of what these imbeciles say. Sleep tight, little one."
I start gathering the coins, putting them into my bag. I tip my friends who...
She like throws the chair as she walks out. Or storms off, I should say, more like it.
I grab the little wooden piece that she brought out. What does it look like?
It's like a little replica of the cart. It is a little replica.
Is there anything written on it? Like some way...
It does.
Thought?
On the bottom, it says Payeska.
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 I know what that means. Let's go find out. I take the rest of my coin. I tip the bartenders, and I just bail out and go look for my new cart. Payeska. I start walking around. I look around at the night sky, and it's a partly cloudy evening with lots of stars. The half moon going, and start making my way over to the stables, and I see the cart. Right.
You do see the cart.
Well, what does it look like?
Oh, it's gorgeous. So you make your way outside, and you look among the horses hitched to posts and wagons, and standing out among them is this beautifully painted Varda, which is another name for a covered wagon, with hand-carved floral features along the sides and the back, and the wood in its entirety is just painted in these kind of like bright autumn oranges. There's a main door on the back, and it's kind of like a Dutch door that opens like top and bottom, or top and bottom. And the top door opens, but like casement windows, which kind of open out like this. I know, I'm so educated in architecture, look at me. Where they kind of open outward, and then you see one large lantern hanging from above the door. And it's lit. It is lit.
already lit, already had some drinks. I walk up to it and I admire the fine wagon wheels with the iron trimmings and the various pieces of it. Kind of like rub my hands along it. And notice there are no horses attached to this wagon. Anyway, it doesn't even look
And
like
there's like a step stool ladder that can be like flipped up when it's actually moving, as well as like flipped down.
So
and it's already down.
It's already set down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I go ahead and flip the porch up on my tiny house. And I go around and start talking to it a little bit. It's like, hey girl, I guess we're gonna get you a name. I don't know what she called you, but surely wasn't worth what you are. Kind of give it a pet.
Oh God. As you're standing there petting your wagon, as you're standing there petting your wagon, you hear from behind you, that was a lucky hand.
I look around.
And you see a woman, their hood drawn, and you see Volpa standing next to her. And she's approaching you, and Volpa is in tow.
Lucky hand. It happens from time to time. I truly am lucky because you seem to have found my fox. Thank you so much.
You must be, and she kind of looks down at Volpa. Samson.
Aye. That's me.
No. She just kind of like does that thing where like she, like puts her arms down and just kind of looks around. A friend of mine from the court told me there was no silver tongue more polished than yours. The group I'm gathering, and she kind of like looks back at the wagon. I need a driver. Are you interested?
At this point, Samson, who has this very kind of like cavalier attitude most of the time, straightens up immediately and gives his full attention to the figure in the dark. I could be.
Volpa just kind of like, she trots back over to your feet, your ankles. Just kind of like sits next to you.
You got friends in the court?
Just one close one. Yes?
Can you promise me a conversation?
I think I could work something out for you.
I'll drive them wherever they need to go. Where do I pick them up?
She just kind of smiles. And she walks closer, and you can see her ethereal moths just kind of fluttering around her face. Her amethyst eyes. Go to the Fool's Gold Inn. There will be a table for you. The others will follow. That's it. And I will see you there.
You gonna go play some cards yourself, eh?
I don't think I should play cards with you.
Oh, here. Let's give you some help. And I'll just do my wrist and have the two aces pop out. This is that good hand from earlier.
Oh, I know.
Well,
I know. Volpa told me.
Trader. Come on.
I'll see you then.
Fool's Gold Inn.
Fool's Gold
Anytime.
Inn.
You have a name?
Revenir. Revenir Thorne.
Beauty.
Thank you.
Well, let's see you there too. And I get in the cart.
and she leaves. She leaves.
A good Volpa scritches and sneak her a biscuit. And we drive the chariot away.
The clock moves back and we find ourselves south of the Cambria. The wind moves through the trees of the wildwood. A thin forest of fir trees and rocky hills span this lush green area. Sprawling meadows of ryegrass and wildflowers are home to honeybees and butterflies. The woods are alive. Scurrying squirrels, rabbits, and and the occasional prowling wolf. Yet animals aren't the only one who move through this forest this day. A large white owl lands within the branches of a nearby pine tree. It begins to stretch its wings out when something catches its eye in the underbrush below. Davis, would you like to describe and introduce your character?
I'll be playing Roaring Bear. Roaring Bear is striding through the woodland, crunching a little louder than you would expect a hunter to be crunching.
He's crunching. That's an interesting verb.
His upper body is he's topless. He is only wearing this kind of gray and black piece of material wrapped around his neck, and his skin is very tan, very, very durable looking. His hair is tousled and looks like it hasn't been kempt in a while. His eyes are piercing blue in contrast to the rest of him. He wears long leather pants with tassels along them, finely made, handmade, embroidered with pieces of bone and beads of lapis lazuli. He wears leather foot coverings, also handmade, also stained. Looks like a mixture of red and black, and they're very, very worn. Well kempt, patched in places, but definitely have been around. He carries a spear on his back, lashed to him with pieces of leather tongue, and 2 hand axes sit on a belt around his waist. In his hand, he has the cudgel that's too large to fit on his belt, crafted finely from the leg bone of a large creature. He has several bags, different pelts of animals, filled with who knows what. 5 or 6 of them around his waist, and he has the natural colors of this forest, black and green and red. It doesn't look like the most camouflagey camouflage, but he has it on his face and on parts of his body, kind of hastily applied. And his eyes are fixed on the ground, following the trail of something.
Okay. So you're hunting.
Yes, I'm hunting a rabbit.
Hunting a rabbit.
It leaves a very fine trail.
Okay. Do you continue to stalk your prey, moving through the trees, crunching?
Crunching.
Crunching. Make a stealth check.
Am I good at that? That would be a 9.
Okay. So, you continue to move through the trees. Through the underbrush. Yeah, you're not Tarzan. Moving through the underbrush, stalking it. And you begin to get closer and closer as this little bunny just kind of like, the little bunny nose, keeps coming up like it's heard something, looking down. And you think that you got it. You think you can get close enough when your foot, of course, crunches down on a twig, it snaps, and it runs off further. You continue to stalk it.
I just hold a hand on my stomach. Shakes head a little bit. Puts away the cudgel it doesn't fit quite right. Pulls out one of his hand axes and stares at the ground more intently than the trail at this point, carefully placing his feet one in front of the other. A rabbit in flight makes a bigger trail than a rabbit just kind of meandering.
Do you continue
I'll
to
find it soon enough.
Do you continue to stalk it?
I do.
Okay. All right. You continue to stalk your prey, and as you do, you hear just kind of the flapping of wings behind you. Continue to stalk it.
How strange. An owl during the day. This place makes no sense.
I'm sorry. I'm composure, right? Continue to stalk your prey. Make one more stealth check for me. Let's see if you can get close enough to make a shot. How strange.
Yeah, that'll be better. That should be a 15.
Okay. You persevere and you are able to move in a way that you won't make that same mistake again. You're looking for those gosh darn twigs, and you are sidestepping, putting one foot crossing the other, and then you're hunching over and you find the perfect kind of underbrush that's kind of hiding you, but it's in a way to where there's two bushes and you can kind of like poke out either a bow or you could throw an axe if you wanted to, quite easily. You're close enough and it hasn't noticed you.
I will. I've thrown a lot of axes in my time. This one feels right, as long as the line of sight's clear.
Mm-hmm.
Nice clean cut. We're aiming for the neck here.
Perfect. Roll to hit, my friend.
That'll be an 11 to hit.
11 to hit. That's exactly what you needed. So you kind of like you're squatting down and you kind of shift your weight up to where you're like in a half squat, half almost standing. So like it's almost like planking but standing, I guess you could call it. And you just very quickly and it hits and like it just absolutely clean cut, no pain. And you've made your kill, and it doesn't even twitch. And as that happens, and you make that clean kill, what is this kind of like? Do you celebrate? Do you?
I just grunt and take my cudgel out of my belt and quickly move to collect.
As you move your way towards this rabbit that you have victoriously murdered, you hear the flapping of wings behind you once more.
No, mine. And I begin to run.
Do you just run? You don't turn around?
No, I know this is a bird. The bird wants my food.
Oh, okay. That's a really good point. Yes. So you run, and you. Do you like
jump?
Do you
and lunge?
Okay, I was like, do you baseball slide into your dinner?
Yeah. Like grab firmly with both hands before I tuck it in close and begin looking for this bird.
You turn around and you see like a plume of like feathers just kind of swirling around. It's like the Swan Princess in here, where the feathers just kind of swirl about and like kind of cover the face of the bird, and then you see a woman standing before you. Hood is actually drawn back, and black hair and purple glowing amethyst eyes with aerial moths. She
and
said,
as I
go ahead.
sit there with my rabbit, you are not an owl.
Not anymore. That was a clean hit. No suffering. Very skillful mark. I can change into a lot of animals, though.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What's your name?
I am Roaring Bear. And I, like, reach into my belt and pull out a hunting knife.
I'm not gonna hurt you. I know that might have been a little bit. I don't do that very often, but I figured you've been in the wilderness enough to know what a druid looks like. I'm sorry, we may have gotten off on the wrong foot. I'm Revenir Thorne, and you are Roaring Bear, and I'm not going to take your rabbit or your knife or try to assault you in any way. I
And he is already skinning, like,
Oh, he's just like quietly like oh my gosh. Just like not even looking away like a creepy murderer. And she's just going to kind of like,
why do you apologize?
"Oh, I thought you were I don't know. I thought you were going to I don't know. We usually when people take out knives when someone else is, standing close that I've been
Oh.
around a lot to know that that means they're going to try to stab me with it. Just
The knife is not for people. This is a hunting knife. I use it to make food.
That makes sense. You're not from around here. You don't seem to dress like you are.
Was it the footfalls? No. I do
Where-
not spend much time in forests.
I can see that. Where are you from?
He'll ponder for a second and put down his rabbit and his knife. His hands are now bloody, but he doesn't really care. He just kind of like this. It's messing up his face paint. It looks really bad. You are asking an awful lot of questions for someone who was an owl.
Oh, that's very true. It's because I have a motive, I suppose. Or an agenda. I noticed you were hunting. And seeing you now. What are you hunting?
I eat what I hunt.
I know that. That's not what I mean. What are you hunting?
And
And she does. Go ahead.
He'll kind of like tense up and furrow his brow and begin wiping his hands off on his leather trousers.
I've seen that look before. That look in your eyes. There's a fire that burns there. And the longer that it burns, the more that you lose yourself to it. I lost a friend that way. They lost themselves to it. That's another story, but I'm looking for help. And you are a patient hunter. And that is what I need. And that is why I'm here. Because patient hunters hunt in the wild. Perhaps you will find what you're hunting along the way. Perhaps I can help you find it. Or perhaps you'll find something even greater. All I know is that kind of look. It's the kind of hunt that you can't do alone. Will you help me?
You are right. the lone wolf dies for lack of company. I came here to learn, to find. I do not know where to find, and I do not know what help you need.
I'm in the business of helping people. I hope you can help with that. People that are currently starving and starve. That is the help that I need.
I cannot teach these city people to hunt.
No. That's not it at all. We can talk more. You just need to go to the Fool's Gold Inn, and I'll meet you there. There are some other individuals that I've asked to help as well. Like you said, the lone wolf needs the pack, right? And I have a pack.
You have a pack.
I do. And I want you to be a part of it.
You will help me.
I will do the best I can.
Very well. Where is this inn?
And, she kind of points up, you know, Anduin's Bridge, the massive architectural wonder of the world?
No.
You didn't see the massive bridge? She, like, points, like, you could, like, she points out, like, in the direction of where the bridge would be. You haven't seen the bridge. How did you get onto this mass land?
I sailed on a ship.
Okay.
I do not like looking over the water.
I knew somebody like that as well. Hated the water. Just go north. And she kind of gives you directions, and she tells you if you'll go north and where along the bridge, just keep following the edge of the island and you'll find the Fool's Gold Inn.
Edge of island north. This is good. Do
Alright.
I have to walk through the people?
You will.
Very well. I will be there. Two handlings before the sun sets.
Wonderful. Shall see you then. And she just kind of like back into an owl, and she just kind of like Hedwig style flaps her wings, and like you're Harry in the situation, and she flies off.
And I look after her. Look down at my rabbit. Look up. It is fast. I will give her that. But an owl during the day. As I get back to skinning.
The clock moves one last time, and we move back over to Crowsbin. Although this time we find ourselves closer to the main roads, within the median of the Undercity and the main road that passes through to Niveau Maximum. The late afternoon sun casts a golden orange glow over the city. A chandler stands by his cart. He's unloading a few crates of candles to give to the Fool's Gold Inn. By his cart is a large sign that reads, "Fool's Gold is lit with the best. Buy candles from Belvin's Glow. Find candles you'll love to blow." It's very clear that he's not good at marketing. Two children run around with an older teenager boy. He's trailing behind, and a little girl with a crown of Freesia and red ribbons in her hair twirls around as the little boy chases her. Come on, Aggie! It's my turn to be Revenir! And the little girl stops and she turns toward the boy and she frowns. I don't want to be a citizen. Besides, you do it so well, Birdie. He frowns and mumbles to himself and just kind of kicks a few rocks off the ground. And the older teenage boy trails behind them quietly, a watchful eye for the youth. But he's not the only one paying attention. Raina! Would you like to introduce your character?
I sure would. Okay, so I'll be playing Freyaria, and she is a very tall, humanish looking creature. Measuring in at about 7'10", she wears a very long traveler's cloak. Yeah, fearbolgs are big. So she makes quite an imposing figure, even though she's quite lean. The hood of her traveler's cloak is pulled down, and you see just a wild mop of ash brown hair. It's kind of tucked back into her cloak. And underneath the sprawl of hair, you see a very long, handsome-looking face. It's difficult to tell if she's a boy or a girl, but she has a very long, wide nose and very, very big, I guess, rounded ears, kind of like a deer. And they're both tipped at the end, kind of a berry red. Her skin is it's like a deep clay color with a teal tint to it. And all of this frames two very large black eyes. They seem to be dilated. They're very unsettling to look at. And she's carefully watching the children with a small smile on her face.
All right, so the children continue to kind of like chase each other around, and then Birdie goes, "I want to be Revenir," and he takes the Freesia crown off her head, and then she goes, "Jacob, he took my crown," and like they just continue to bicker at one another, and the teenage boy's like, "What do you do?"
I think that Freyaria would smile a little wider and kind of approach the children. And in a very calm voice, she says, "Is there a problem here, little one?"
"He took my crown. You can't prove that." And he just kind of tucks it behind his back and is like, and just doesn't move. Like, I'm sorry, it would be more like, because you're so tall.
Alright, so she's gonna kneel down a little bit and look at the little girl. She's like, that won't do, will it? But what if I told you I had something better than a crown?
2 crowns?
Not quite. How would you like? And she reaches behind her back and pulls out a very long, gnarled wooden staff. There are flowers growing from it. It's very worn, and it appears, you can tell it's very close to her. And she extends it to the little girl. She says, "Would you like to play with this?"
She looks at the teenage boy, and the teenage boy is just kind of like, "Oh, yeah, sure." And the little girl just kind of like, before he even says yes, she like latches onto it, and she's like, and then like I'm guessing you let go.
Yes.
And immediately she's like, she like struggles to hold on to it because it's so much larger than her, but like she has it, and like because I'm guessing because of the kind of staff it is, like when she walks, like she starts moving around with it, and like little flower petals just start appearing behind her, and she's just like, "Buddy, I'm really Revenir Thorne now! Look at the flowers! Look at it!" And she just starts like going in circles. like a video gamer who like makes a trail in the snow and like draws with their footprints, you know? And she's just like moving around and she's so excited and Buddy's like, wait, I wanna try, and they just kind of like go off for a second and they're playing. And then of course, cloaked figure walks up and stands next to you. I know, shocker, right?
Ooh.
Did anybody see that coming? Ooh. And she says, childhood like that, it's such a gift. The kind of gift that none of us realize we have until we lost it. Fantasy subsides and the gravity of this world brings us back. It will, like you, help prolong that innocence just a little bit longer. That's very kind of you to do. Especially with such a beautiful family heirloom. Spoke with many blooms, and I'd be very interested in to hear the tales one your staff would tell.
Freya kind of draws into herself. She kind of withdraws a little bit. She doesn't like that this stranger is so familiar with her. And so she looks at her kind of skeptically and says, "You fancy yourself familiar with me, but I do not know you."
I'm so sorry. I apologize. I am Revenir Thorne.
Is that meant to mean something to me?
Oh, kind of glad that it doesn't, actually. What is your name?
She kind of looks hesitant, but she eventually says, Prearia.
It's a beautiful name. You don't look...
Thank you.
I just imagine, like, this just weird, like almost like this, like, frown or something on her face. Just, like, almost like, maybe, like, a little bit of a snarl from that, like, yeah. Like, yeah.
It's very distrustful.
Yeah. Thanks. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And she goes, I see. I know. Seclusion does breed distrust. I can sense that in you, and I can see it on your face. I don't need to know why you left it, but I think we both know how deep the roots go. This network we are both connected to, and she just kind of like turns her hand, and like this green energy, just like these roots, just kind of crawl up her legs and up her arm, and like the back of her hand, like a freesia bloom. Kind of like blooms out, and then forget-me-nots just kind of sprinkle down her forearm. You need help whether you know it or not. Just as I need help. And I need your help. I need someone, and she kind of looks over at the two little children holding the staff. They're both holding it now. With a kind heart. And see the little beautiful things and appreciate them. Will you help
Freya
me?
looks to be in thought. She, sorry,
You're fine.
she seems to be thinking about what the stranger has said, like she's having to admit something to herself she doesn't quite want to. And then she says to her, "It seems that you have found your answers. And I still want mine." She extends her hand, palm up, to the stranger and says, "Yes, I will help."
She grabs your forearm like we're about to do like the unbreakable vow here. And she says, "I am not one to take. I give as well. Any help I can help with you, I'll do the best I can. Thank you." And the flowers
hold
just
you to that.
The flowers just kind of like wrap around. The flower and vines just kind of wrap around your forearm as well. In a very symbolic way of showing that she is making kind of this act to deal. She's definitely not your patron. Okay, let's get that out. This is not like a patron bestowal of energy or anything, but it's more symbolic of this kind of the start of this bond between Prearia, Revenir. and where it will go. She says, "Wonderful. Just go to the Fool's Gold Inn. You'll meet some others there. This kind of help I need requires more than just one. I think you'll...
She doesn't look like she likes that.
I think you might like at least one of them." And she just kind of like chuckles to herself. She smiles and she kind of bows her head. And she looks back over at the children. And at this point, the children have run around so much that there are just flowers everywhere, like all over the floor, like growing in, like up in between the cracks of the cobblestone. And people are just kind of like watching, and and it's almost like a show now. Like people are just watching these children as they're just running amok with the staff. But as she leaves, you see Revenir walk a little ways. She stops next to a very old man who sits on a barrel. And he's holding a long cane, and his trousers are dirty up to his knees. His face is very long, and his coarse beard kind of like curls up. It's all gray. And it looks like she's talking to him. She's far away enough now where you can't hear. And his eyes are milky. He straightens up slightly as she speaks. She hands him what looks to be a small orange fruit. And she goes to her pouch, and you can see where like two other tassels hang where she had things hanging from her pouch or hanging from her belt. And she takes the last one and she holds it up, and she puts the coin purse in his. And you see as she places a hand on his face for a moment, and he listens to what she has to say. And his eyebrows just kind of arch a little bit as she speaks to him. Then she leaves, and he's holding this fruit in this bag. And you watch the old man eat this fruit while he's holding the coin purse. And his eyebrows arch even further, and he just looks around. And you see his right hand move up the side of the building. And he touches the flowers that he can't see. He's feeling around for something. He just runs his hands over these freesia blooms, brushing his fingertips past them, and a few others. As he does, he smiles so wide. Tears just pour down his face and into his beard. He just continues to smile. And that is where we'll take our break.
Ooh.
That is where we will take our break. So, let me see what I got here, because we're about to... I'll go ahead and launch the giveaway while... let me actually show you guys what we're giving away real quick before we break off into that. We are...
Wait.
Oh, what? What, Daniel?
Giveaway!
Giveaway! Giveaway! Giveaway! Giveaway! Giveaway! Okay, so this is what we are giving away. You are tuning in. Oh, nope, we're not giving away La Cambria. We're not giving away La Cambria! Let's see. Oh. Seems to have disappeared. That's fine. I'll just add it back in. We are giving away a enamel pin. It is our founder's enamel pin. It got deleted somehow, but let me pull that up for y'all.
To give you guys some background, so
Yeah, give them some background while I pull it open, please.
So Ink and Lyra, we first created our Patreon a while back. We did this little giveaway where when we got our first 100,
yes, thank you, Davis.
over at patreon.com /Ink and Lyre, we gave away to our first 100 patrons this founder's pin. We ordered a few extras, and so we've got a few more that were in our store. So we're going to be giving those away every week until we're out, because we're not sure what to do with them. But they're amazing.
Yeah, they're limited edition. We only manufactured so many. So, like, once they're gone, they are gone. And Daniel and I have actually signed the back of them. So,
we signed them. We sent them off. There's only so many available.
I have one too. There's the back. You can see we signed it. Look at Daniel's doctor handwriting, and then mine.
So you are. What exactly are the rules for this giveaway?
So you have to be following, of course, if you want to enter the giveaway, and then that's about it. You are gonna use. I'm gonna tell you. Don't use it yet because I'm about to tell you what the command word is for it. Let me launch. Don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. Even though you don't know the command word is, so there. Let me go ahead and start it for you all. The giveaway.
So you are considered a founder of the Ink and Lyre
Yes.
TV channel.
Yes,
Right
you would be considered like a legit like badge of honor founder. That's one of the reasons why we're doing this giveaway. Is it is like founder. Like we have recently started our Twitch channel, and very special to us, and it means a lot that you guys are here, and we want to give you something special for it. So, are you all ready? The giveaway is going to last for about an hour and 30 minutes. I'm going to announce it at the end of our stream, who won. But ready, go! The command is !loot! And you can enter. And I'm going to leave this up. We're going to go to our break, but feel free. And remember, !loot. I'm sure the chat bot will also tell you what it is as well. Yeah, so we're going to go to break real quick. And we will be back in just un momento. All right, we'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, we're back. Okay, so I forgot to re-enable loyalty, so that's my bad. I'm sorry. But for those of you who did like the command loot, just do it again. There was a ton of people in there who theirs didn't go through. But yes, again, it will be going for about an hour and 30 minutes, and I will actually probably reopen it at the end just to make sure everyone got their entry in. I'm looking at it now, but yes, if everyone could, at some point during the stream, redo your command exclamation point loot into the chat, that would be great. I know Speaky the well. And I'll just keep an eye on it. There we go. Okay, so I'm getting I'm getting some more entries now. Let me look back at the chat. I just want to double check here before we get back into this, because I want y'all to get your entries in, you know? Look. Ooh, UIOOR1. I promise you, I looked. I see your name. You have an entry. I promise you. Yes. Okay. So, and you have to be following. You have to be following in order for it to go through. You have to be following. Otherwise, it won't go through. So make sure you're following as well. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. No, you're fine. You're fine, I promise. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. I promise you. Yours went through. Okay. Let us resume our journey back into Cambria. So, everyone has made their way to the Fool's Gold Tavern. You kind of all trickle in. Again, it's located at the end of Andrin's Bridge, the gateway into Cambria. It's the Fool's Gold Inn. This inn gets a lot of traffic from the people that come in off of the main road, or the main bridge. Upon approach, you see that the tavern, it looks just like one story. It actually doesn't look that big. And then you walk in and you see these massive set of stairs that lead down into the earth. And then the bar itself is kind of like along the back wall, and there's a litter of tables everywhere. There's probably like 10, 15 tables. It's actually, the majority of the inn itself has a whole bunch of tables within it. But you get the sense looking down that the rooms of this inn are actually down into the earth, which is very interesting. You all kind of pile in one by one, and you see a female dwarf with red hair, kind of braided down her back. And she's got this kind of like plump as a peach round face. And you also see, as you kind of walk in, platinum coins on the floor. kind of skittered about everywhere. And they're just shining along the floor against the warm fireplace lantern light. They're just sitting there on the floor.
Not for long.
So you all kind of come in. For the sake of time here, we'll say that you all are together at this point. You'll kind of all walk in. You don't know each other, of course. She goes, the dwarf walks up to you. She goes, "Oi, hello. My name is Penny Coppertoe. I own this fine establishment. Can I get a table for you? Round. You're not a talkative bunch, or?"
Hi, Penny Copper. Nice to meet you.
Well, hello. It is a pleasure to meet you. Look at you. You've got a great little smile on your face. Oh, I like you.
Thanks.
And she goes, are you all together?
Yes.
There's no reason we can't be.
If tables are scarce, yes, for sure. Let's all.
Do you have a reserved table? Are you with that grown fellow? Revenir's he's about accountant, really. He does the coin counting over there at Saltstone. Are you the people? You all don't look like you go together. I'm assuming. Are you the people?
Yep. That's us. We're with Groon and Rev. Yep.
Right. This is like a Chuck E. Cheese party where it's like, oh, we got a table reserved for you guys. All right, follow the balloons to the back. All right, great. So with this awkward start we got going here, he kind of leads you all back to this table that's it's kind of reserved over near the back, and you all just kind of sit down.
Urabir has been picking up coins this whole time, just kind of shoving.
So you're gonna go pick up a coin?
Yeah.
So you go over and you attempt to pick up a coin. Doesn't move.
I pull harder.
It doesn't move.
And
you see Penny kind of looks at you as you've kind of trailed back here, and like the rest of the group just kind of has walked over to the table, and she goes, "You gotta pull really hard now, with all your might."
Yeah, really, really hard. Use your sword. Pry it up.
I kind of eye each of them, and I'll take my metal arm, and I'll try to pull it off with that.
Roaring Bear visibly like balks at this sight, like stumbles and like butts up against a wall. Like,
oh well, now I'm embarrassed.
So you use roll strength.
All right.
Is he trying to peel up the floor? What's he doing?
Yes.
Why?
For the coin.
That is a 10.
Obviously.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't even feel like it could move. Like it, you know how like when something's stuck in it just has like that kind of tiny little like give to it. It's like solid. Doesn't move.
I look at the owner. Is this some kind of trick?
She's just like, no, you just gotta pull it real. You gotta pull even harder. And like there's some other people in the inn that are just kind of smiling.
You said there are coins all over the floor, right?
Oh, there's probably.
I go to another one.
Okay.
And I try to pick that one up.
Doesn't move.
Why are you?
It doesn't move.
Maybe we could help him.
Well, there's coin on the floor. Why is there coin on the floor?
That is a good question.
How long are you gonna attempt to pull this off the floor?
If the second one doesn't budge, then Iramir realizes something's up.
Do you go and join your friends?
Reluctantly, yes.
As you get up, Penny comes over to you.
If I pick up the coin.
Wait,
what? What was that?
What happens if I pick up the coin?
It's
Then
yours
you-
then.
Have a coin, yeah.
You're a bit richer
That
than you
is
were before
strange.
you had it.
It's worth 10 gold, my friend.
So as you stand up, kind of defeated from attempting to pull these coins off the floor, Penny comes over to you. She's like, "Oh, that was a good try." Man, the boys in the back. You are not from here, are you? Yeah, it's definitely, yeah, we could definitely tell. And she just kind of laughs a little bit. And she goes, "Welcome to the Fool's Gold Inn. What can I say? I mean, it's in the name. You fell for it. Ah."
But that is not gold.
I'm not amused.
Gold is yellow.
What?
Don't
You might,
worry about it.
maybe if you
Haven't
try
been back.
later. And she just kind of laughs a little bit.
Are you making fun of this man?
I mean, well, look at that guy over there. You can see like somebody else who's just walked in, like is trying to pick it up off the floor, and he's got both hands on it, and he's trying to get it off the floor, but he can't.
Oh, this is a joke. This is supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah,
how
she's-
we can point out the tourists from, the natives.
Tis a joke, friend. It happened to me last week. Don't worry. Happens to the best of us.
It's not very funny.
It is very clever.
So you all sit at this table.
People have weird traditions. As I move over and skulk in my corner again,
You don't sit with the rest of them.
no.
Okay.
So, you lot, y'all ever heard of a last name Revenir?
Yeah, who
Yeah.
hasn't? Revenir Thorne. This whole thing is about her. The
You
whole
have all heard of her.
festival.
There is a festival.
Yeah, man. Didn't you see
Freeze's-
the balloons outside?
Freesa's Advent, yes.
What is a Freesia's advent?
I think we should have introductions first.
That's a great point.
I agree. I think that's a good idea.
Sure.
I'll start. I'm Lorelei. You next. I'll point
You
to.
next, your last.
You next.
I'll point to.
Oh.
I don't know how to describe you. I'll point to Finn, even though I don't know who Finn is yet.
Okay, so Finn's just gonna be like, "Well, my name is Finalai, or you can call me Finn," and he's gonna lean forward and look at Hiramir, and he's gonna point to his horns, and he's gonna say, "Are those real?"
Yeah, they are.
They're so cool. Are they heavy?
I've had them all my life. I don't know. Anyway, my
Thought that
name's
was a
Urimir.
cartoon.
Yeah, and he's kind of just looking around at all of you. Say, what about you? And he'll point at the only other tiefling in the room.
Well, I guess that's true. My name is Samson Martis. I'm the driver, I guess you should say. I'm the one who has the cart whenever we get ready to roll. But looks like we've got this. Sorry if I said this wrong. Football, yeah, over here.
Correct. Freyaria. And you, I suppose. But she looks at Roaring Bear.
Ah, me. Yes, I am here. Are we going somewhere?
What's your name?
Great question.
They, you may call me Roaring Bear.
Roar.
Roaring Bear.
Roaring Bear.
Roaring bear.
That is what my name translates to.
You do not look like a bear that I have ever seen.
Are bears your favorite animal?
This is a lot of questions.
Just think of it like a stage name. Like my name is Lorelei Wonders. My real name's not Lorelei Wonders, but that's what people call me. People call him Roaring Bear.
You would not understand if I told you my name in my language.
What language is that?
You ask too many questions. And he crosses his arms and kind of skulks.
So Samson, quick, like just totally trying to turn the conversation around. She's like, Samson, you said you were driving us somewhere. Do you know where we're going?
No, not at all. Revenir came to me. She said that we were all in need of a driver, whatever that may mean. Don't really know where. I guess it's something that we'll find out later. Did she tell you all what was needed from each of you? I mean, for me personally, I'm just I'm a bit of a talker. You know, it's, not fast talker, and I'm definitely not lying to anyone all the time. But I'm supposed to have some conversation.
Insight check.
Yay! Roll between players.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, should I roll something?
She's rolling. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Are you?
Deception if you're lying.
I'll roll whatever I want. Let's see it. Probably.
17.
I would say that Samson's trying to be as truthful as he can be. He's definitely not lying all the time, that's for sure. But yeah, like, I'm just supposed to be here to, have some conversations and get us out of a tight spot every now and then, and drive the car. That's kind of what I'm here for. Did Revenir talk to all of you? What she said?
Revenir, the owl woman.
Yeah, the owl woman.
Owl woman.
Well, she said she needs help. Pretty much turning the city around is what it sounded like. To kind of end starvation and try and do some good in the city.
Good luck.
That's why I came along.
Good luck. Revenir, are you from here? I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not really from here. I travel a lot. Are you from here, Revenir?
Oh yeah. I'm from the Undercity. We're all we make do.
Is the Undercity like under the city? Like actually under the city?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
I thought it was a building. It seems like you name buildings for weird things, like gold. That isn't gold.
So is this tavern part of the Undercity because we're underground?
Well, no, we came from I guess technically, but not really. It's far too nice. We wouldn't glue gold to the floor.
Mm.
As they're talking, Lorelei pulls out her pack and just starts pulling Freesia out of it. And like tosses one to each person and then starts making a flower crown for herself.
What is all of this stuff?
This is beautiful.
Everywhere.
Should we all make one?
Yes.
And then I take my pack and go in the middle of the table.
I also start making a flower crown for myself.
As
Sarah eats one.
what is the response there?
I look at her and kind of walk my head and also nibble a petal.
So do I.
Revenir just leaves his own.
It's
Quite a good taste.
I don't know what Freesia
On the
tastes
table.
like, but I imagine eating a flower is pretty bitter and like eating velvet, kinda, because like the petal part. So whether or not that disgusts you or entices your character is up to you.
How
Yeah,
are the
it's pretty
stars
good.
when there are food everywhere?
So Finn is going to watch Lorelai very carefully as she's making her flower crown. He's just going to like step by step kind of follow her lead, making one. You're really good at this.
Oh, thank you. I grew up in a greenhouse. That sounded strange. My room was in a greenhouse when I was growing up.
That's not
So,
strange at all,
I spent
actually.
a lot of time with flowers.
You must really love plants then. Plants and flowers.
I like them.
I use my druidcraft to make my Freesia's advent a little bit more colorful, and I add some more flowers up in there, so it has this more rainbow look effect to it as it all grows out.
So,
Pouring bear is looming over your shoulder.
You all watch this happen as the flowers just kind of like change color right before your eyes, and the vines just kind of like, with this magic kind of being added to this flower that's, you know, not connected to soil or dirt, it just kind of wriggles and writhes a little bit with the magical energy that's touched from Samson.
You are skilled with plant magic.
Yeah, it's part of my people. It's kind of what we do. We grow plants, and we yeah, and I can also do this, and I'll turn into Volpa, like a carbon copy but opposite, and I'll wild shape into Volpa and kind of like have both of us jump up on the table real quick,
Real
kind of
quack.
quack, and dance around real fast, and then I'll jump back out and wild shape away. Back in the same place.
that
What
is so cool.
are you?
Where are you from?
And you just do this in the tavern, just like
Yeah, that's kind of who I am.
the people just kind of like nearby just kind of see that happen, and they're just, you know,
You
a
saw
little
what you
startled.
saw?
And they just kind of like start like whispering a little bit as they kind of watch the interesting table over in the corner now.
Do all of your people do that?
Most of them, yeah, almost all of them.
Your
Right.
people. What are you?
Well, you know how druids are. They just live out over on Vera's mountain range. You know, you're familiar, aren't you? It's east of here, probably 400 or 500 miles, perhaps.
That is a long way.
It is a long way. But I've been traveling around these Aurora for a while now. Been all around the mainland. Came here to Cambria because that's where all the money was. So I've been here showing off a few of these tricks. You know.
Somebody gonna say something? I didn't want to interrupt. No? Okay. As you're all sitting there, kind of communing with one another, Penny comes back over and she goes, "All right, what can I get you? We've got a specialty drink called the Off Your Boots. If you like a very strong alcoholic beverage, we also have your regular ales and wines." And food specialties, we got the yarn and prawns. It'll fill you up right to where you'll want to pass out. And then we have, you know, our fresh baked beer bread. What can I get you?
I'll take a nail.
A nail?
I'll take the biggest meal you have.
The biggest meal we have. I'll get you some yarn and prawns.
Finn's gonna look in.
With a hog head.
Whoa.
Finn's gonna look in his pocket and be like, there's not a lot in there. So I guess I will take the specialty drink.
The drink? The Off Your Boots?
Yeah, that one.
She just kind of looks you up and down, clearly like this skinny, like, individual, and she's like, All right, sure. I'm not good. Sure. Okay. I will get you some off your boots.
Thank you.
You're
Never
gonna
heard of
be. You're all gonna be off your boots. That's for sure. What can I get the rest of you?
Take one of those specialty meals.
The yawning prawns.
Yeah.
Of course. I'll get you one of those. Did you? Anything else? We only have a few people getting some food here.
Bread, please.
Bread?
Water as well.
I didn't mean to like replicate that accent there for a second. Bread? I get you the bread, yes. All right. Bread and water. Right.
Actually, I think I have enough coin for some bread too. Yeah. So I'll get some bread as well.
Bread's only 10 copper. Oh,
Yeah.
right.
I
And
thought
you go ahead.
food and drink were free during the festival. Has the festival not officially begun yet?
Great question.
That's true. Well, it doesn't stop till tomorrow.
What time is it?
It is fairly late. It's probably like 10, 11. Like it is now.
Sweet.
CST time. Oh, you know what? Don't you worry about that. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, all of your rooms are on Revenir's tab anyways, so don't you worry about it. Get whatever you want.
Well, is there anything that we can do for you?
You can tell everyone you know that the Fool's Gold Inn Tavern is the best in La Cambria.
Excuse me, you said Revenir Thorne's paying for all of this?
I nudge him, so yeah, Revenir.
Well, yes. I mean,
all this.
she did get you some rooms, so she'll probably want to take care of your meals and your drinks as well.
Can I add a drink to mine?
You should see the smile on Brandon's face, guys. Oh my goodness. Well, of course, off your boots, regular ale, wine, all three. I can do all three too if you want.
All three sounds lovely.
It's Revenir's tap, so okay, 3 for you, my friend. All right, is that all?
Going there?
I didn't hear you, Amelia. What was
He
that?
just kind of looks over.
Oh,
I
yes,
bought
you in the
food.
corner. I didn't see you. You had to, you're hooved up and you looked like you were kind of in the darkness over there. What can I get you, sir? I can get you whatever you want. Just hop, skip, and a jump away.
It's fine. I brought food.
Oh, you sure? It's on Revenir Thorne's tab. I can bring you the yawning.
He wants another one of those specials.
Oh, the off your boots. Okay, I'll get you one of those as well, sir. You're gonna love it. You seem like the type who would really appreciate some liquor that would put some hair on your chest. All right, I'll go get it. Thank you.
He bulks up and crosses his arms and glowers.
At the group
Oh,
or at Penny?
green.
She's already gone. She's already gone.
That's all right, Roaring Bear. I can take it down for you.
Yeah.
What?
She's gonna drink your drink for you, Blythe.
Oh. Be careful with that.
Is that really okay? It seems like a lot of food and drink and a lot of money.
I'm sure she's good for it.
Does anyone know Revenir Thorne? I know she came to find me, but honestly, like, I don't know a whole lot about her. Anybody know her for real?
She is very wise.
Huh. Yeah, everyone around here knows about Revenir. She's a noble from the Cambria. She abolished slavery. She fed the hungry. My mom used to tell me stories about her all the time. She was part of a group, Alex Ultima, and she's kind of like this city's hero. This whole Freesia's Advent is in honor of her.
So, what exactly is Freesia's Advent? I mean, like, what are we celebrating exactly?
I wrote a poem. Would you like to hear it?
Oh.
I do. I want to hear it. I want to
Yes.
hear it.
She climbs up on the table.
Oh my god.
She says, "Attention! reading in honor of Freesia's event.
Everyone.
Revenir, raise a glass, give a cheer. She freed the slaves of the Cambria. She sent Thorne to the plane of fire. We celebrate her goodness here at Freesia's event. Hey! And then she takes out her flute, which you can now see it looks like it's made of the bone of like an elk. And she starts to play a little ditty and dances on the table.
Like, oh my god, I love it. And she starts like Irish, I forget what it's called, like the Irish dance, like where it's like
dancing
with their feet. Is it just Irish dancing? Like clog dancing, you know? I love it. Make a performance check for me with advantage.
Ooh.
Oh.
Performance.
That was beautiful.
18.
Oh, the crowd loves your ditty and your poem, and they're just like, whoa! They raise their glasses, and everyone clinks, and they, knock them back, like taking a shot in like one of those rowdy bars, like not that I've been in one, but like I've seen movies, I've seen movies, and everyone's like, whoa! And they all clap as you finish your performance.
And then I get off the table.
Wow, that was lovely, Lorelai.
Yeah.
Bit of a performer, huh?
A little.
Where have
So-
you played? Where have you played at?
Well, I'm not from around here. I'm from Dawn's Rise in Acacia, across the sea.
Yeah.
Roaring Bear bulks up and glowers even harder.
My
You don't like
taught me everything I know.
So are you here to sing songs and, do poems and stuff? Is that why you're here?
No. It's a bit complicated. I'd rather not get into it on a night like this. But perhaps another day. And her face kind of falls and she picks at her flowers.
Well, the poem was still amazing. Still great.
Thank you.
I don't know if Revenir told all of you, but she said we should all get to know one another. I think it might be nice if we shared a little bit about our backgrounds and who we were and who we are. That way we can learn to trust one another. Yeah. Let's start with you, Prearia. Let's play a game. Yeah.
Game.
Yeah. 2 truths and a lie. You tell me 2 true things about you and 1 that's not, and then we'll all guess and see if we can tell which one is which. And if you lose, you can take a drink.
How does this build trust?
Yes. That's right, Roaring Bear.
When we
Penny,
play games to build trust, we pitted our skill against one another.
I like the
just started
game
the
idea.
other game.
Yeah, let's just do the game, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just do the game.
as
You know what? We'll do that tomorrow. How's that sound?
As you all, because you guys need drinks to play this game, obviously. Penny comes back and she brings you your drinks and your dishes. She brings the fresh baked beer bread. The yawnin prawns, of course, is freshly caught prawns, with the head still on, because, classy, or medievally. It's in a tomato kind of brine broth, and there's cut turnips and purple potatoes in there, some thyme, and just as Penny would say, a wee splash of lemon. And then she brings the ales and the water, and of course the off your boots, which you kind of like look down into it, and it's black, and it looks very oily, and it's just like a little bit larger than like twice the size of a shot, I would say, maybe 2.5 times the size of a shot. It's not a lot, but it's more than a shot. And it has a very strong briny and almost kind of like metallic-y smell to it.
Why do you want to drink this?
It's really interesting, I guess.
Because you ask questions like that, friend.
Okay, let's start the game.
I find it odd that we would build trust by lying to one another, but
See, she gets it.
See, you guys, okay, yes, that's true. You are lying. That's accurate. But see, we learned so much about you. Two things that may be so absurd about yourself that somehow I know more about you now than I did before. You know?
How about you show us how it's done, Samson?
That seems unfair. Okay. I'll go
What's your
first.
idea?
Step 1. Number 1. My favorite food is cranberries. Number 2. I haven't always been a tiefling. Number 3. I've never been to Dawn's Rise.
And we're supposed to guess the lie.
Yeah. See which one's the lie.
Well, it's obviously the second one.
You dishonor your ancestors.
Well, maybe he's telling the truth. You don't know, but there is one lie that we have to figure out that's right.
Well, the lie.
I think you've never been to Dawn's Rise.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
Cranberries?
You turned into a fox. Foxes hate cranberries.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you've always been a tiefling.
Our dear bard has it right. Alola. I ain't never been to Dawn's Rise. Not once in my life.
I knew I would have recognized you.
I'm hard to miss. This tall, you know. But I'll use one of my only spell slots to cast Good Berry, and pull out some cranberries. It's like these
Some
are
good
something
cranberries.
some cranberries. that I
Some
made.
good cranberries.
Some good cranberries. See? And they just kind of like appear in my hand as I pull them out. See these little cranberries? You eat one, and it's good enough for the whole day. You don't have to spend extra money to buy all this food and whatnot, you know. And here, they're good for Volpa too. See, you don't know nothing about Roaring Bear. Volpa loves them. I gave one to Volpa.
Volpa just licks them off your fingers in one fell swoop with her tongue, and she just kind of like squishes them between her teeth and eats them. And like when a dog gets a grape, like it takes him a second, you know, to like.
I ate one as well. I was like, you're welcome to have some. You feel you up better than all this food will.
That is the strangest fox.
Her name is Volpa.
Volpa just kind of like looks between like you and Roaring Bear, like acknowledging your conversation about her between the two of you.
I gave her scritches.
She just kind of like, and so like lets her tongue hang out and her teeth like.
Shame. You should hunt her for your food. You will grow soft.
Were you talking to Volpa?
Yes.
Well, did you tell her that she's gonna grow soft?
Because she doesn't hunt.
I don't think she can understand you, boss.
Is your rabbit hanging off of your belt right now?
No. It's in a bag.
Do you have anything hanging off your belt right now?
Yes. I have 2 axes.
She's gonna attempt to take your axe. She's gonna attempt to take your
I
axe.
distract him with like swinging my ale mug a little bit too close to him.
Well, we don't know if you distract him yet. Hold your horses. Right, she's gonna attempt to grab that off your hip.
Go Volpa.
Ooh.
What'd she roll? Great.
She rolled a 16. I don't know what her ad is. So, we'll just say straight 16. Does a straight 16 hit?
Yes.
It does? Great. She's going to, upon your comment, she is going to kind of like rear up, grab one of the axes off your belt, and like kind of like skitter off.
No! That's mine! I skitter off after her on all fours.
Oh, I call Volpa back and take the axe from her and say, Roenberg, here, you can have this back, but you must go next. 2 truths and a lie, my friend.
Ah.
That was a dirty trick.
It was. That tells you lies.
I
Wait.
will wrestle you tomorrow.
Just Samson, do you drink though? Because Lorelai guessed your lie.
Oh, everyone who, I guess everyone who did not guess my lie drinks, and I do. This
I
is
did not drink.
So who's drinking? I need to know who is drinking the off your boots. This is the important part.
I just have ale.
Definitely, yeah.
I'm off your boots, but I followed Lorelai's answer, so I don't think I drink this time.
Okay, so the only person who's drinking is Eramir, correct? The off your boots?
Wait, I was the only one who got it wrong?
And Priori and Roaring.
I did, but I have water.
But she has water. Yeah,
Oh.
but that's why I'm asking, like, whoever has the off your boots. This is the important part.
We're not here to promote like over drinking. If you don't want to drink, like, well, you don't have to. Don't do that on this stream. You know. Make sure you drink water.
So you take a drink of the off your boots, Eramir.
Oh yeah, cheers.
Make a con save.
Oh goodness.
See if you can keep it down.
Ooh.
Constitution saving throw.
Like, imagine if you're drinking like
22. No biggie.
22. Oh yeah, you're fine. So
22. I'll knock it back.
You're fine. It's good. So imagine, if you will, if you had really, really rancid like olive oil that is black, but very, 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 very salty, like that Australian licorice. I think no, like Vegemite. But I think the Australians also have that kind of really salty licorice as well. But like very, very salty. But imagine Vegemite times 100, and extremely oily, and having that very alcoholic, metallic-ness to it as well, and it kind of like dribbles down like the side of your face a little bit because it's like oil. Oil gets everywhere. It's like sand, it's you take it down like you're drinking champ, and whether or not you make a face like is up to you. Like if you do that thing,
Woo. Delicious.
Finn's gonna be like, "Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm excited!"
I can't wait to guess wrong.
All right. So,
All right, Bear Man. 2 truths and a lie.
2 truths and a lie. Yeah, RB, let it go.
RB, I like that.
This is to build trust. Trust. I made that axe you stole from me with my own 2 hands from the earth and the beasts, using the skills that my clan gave me. My clan is dead.
Is that 1 and 2?
Yes.
let's just take a turn.
And I am here to avenge them.
I take a look at this axe. Does it look like it's old, or does it look like it's fairly new?
What does it look like, Roaring Bear?
It is made from the foreleg of a large animal. The bone haft, it has been threaded with leather tongs to give it a grip, and a piece of chiseled obsidian is both wedged through the one end of it and secured with leather tongs. It's embroidered. It has pieces of bone and pieces of blue rock lapis lazuli.
I hold it out for everyone else to examine as they all make their choices.
Like a dealer at Antiques Roadshow.
Well, I'm going to guess the lie is number 2, that your clan is dead, because I really hope that's not the case, because that is very sad.
Daniel, your face, I can't. He's just like...
I'll go with Finn on this one. I hope that one's
Thorne. Because you could not want to avenge them, but they could also not be dead, but you still want to avenge them. She ponders.
Lorelai ponders.
I think... I'm gonna go with 2 as well, because I hope that's the lie as well.
I'm going to say you did not make that axe.
As he takes his other axe from his belt. You
I
disappoint. What do you want?
was going to say the same. I don't think you made this, my friend. I think your dad did. Maybe your mom.
You insult my memory. He takes the axe and embeds it in the table.
Oh,
I cannot wield a weapon I have not made. But my clan will never die. As I reach over and grab my axe back out of his hands. My clan lives through me. They will never die. And he takes the axe back out of his table.
Yeah.
But many are dead. Tucks him back into his belt. And I will avenge those who remain.
so did we win?
No.
I think it's a trick question.
Pretty sure it's a trick question.
I'm so confused.
Are we allowed to lie for all of them then?
Yeah, that's...
When you're wrong, bear, yes.
Who's going to stop him?
I'm going, look at him, he's so buff.
Let's
This game
just all
confuses
take
me.
a drink out of solidarity.
For the family.
Penny kind of skitters over and she goes, could we not put our swords and our axes into the table, please? We just had these polished. Please.
I pass her 2 silver. We'll need more drinks, please.
All
Penny.
right, I will do that. Thank you. She walks off. Like she just immediately is like, oh, cool, okay.
Yet you're not supposed to do that.
I like that idea, Lorelai. Let's all drink.
Okay. So is Finn the only one taking a drink off your boots?
I am.
Also,
I know.
do what?
I am.
You're at. Okay, so Finn and Lorelai make Constitution saves.
Oh boy.
This is gonna be fun. Somebody's gonna fail. I'm waiting for it.
Ooh.
We
There
should
it
have
is.
we should have seen this coming. Like
Yeah,
it's not like
19.
Roaring Bear's dead.
A 19?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
Finn?
22 somehow.
Oh my goodness! Y'all are just like sailor drinkers, man. Ugh.
or maybe this drink isn't all it was talked up to be.
I guess not.
Your town, Amir.
You guys
Say
I
again?
think it'll catch up with us.
you guys knock some back and it is exactly as I had described before, oily, salty, but out of the grace of the gods you worship, you're able to keep this down. And when when Finn and both Lorelai, because they would totally do this, after they're able to take it down and they both smile at each other, like their teeth are black. And they just kind of like
You understand how this is solidarity.
just black teeth, like they drank ink.
It's not so bad. It's a really weird texture. Okay, Roaring Bear, you get to pick who's next.
I am interested to know what the Furbolg has to say. Did I get that right? I've never
You
met
did.
them.
That is correct.
Her name is Praeria. Did you forget?
Praeria.
Yeah.
It is alright, people forget all the
That
time.
has a lot of syllables.
That is a lot for you.
It is different.
I lean over to Finn. I like her.
She's really tall.
I'm still very confused about this game, but... I rather enjoy a good story. I like to swim. And I don't like to use weapons very much.
I'm gonna go with number
Oh.
3.
Did she not have a number 3? I thought she only
I
listed
missed
2.
one.
She listed 3.
Wait,
Oh, she did?
yes. I like a good story. I
Okay.
like to swim,
Okay.
and I don't like weapons very much.
Okay.
Quick question, Praeria. Where are you from?
A ways away.
Like north, south, east, west?
From here. A ways south.
Well, I'm gonna say you don't like to swim.
I agree.
Match. Same. It's cold down there south from here. I like your thought process, Amir.
Gotta be smart to survive.
I do not understand how you could survive without weapons. But you have nature magic.
Have I said so?
He kind of looks at her. I do not think you have a weapon. I think if you liked them, you would have one.
I look at Praeria. Does she have a weapon?
Do you?
Not that you can see.
Perception check.
That's what I was asking for.
Has everyone answered?
No. What did Lorelai say? Missed it.
Doesn't like to swim.
Praeria reaches into her cloak, removes a small dagger, and stabs it into the table.
Oh my god, you people in this table.
This poor table.
Penny just kind of like from the kitchen, like she's like the doorway, she just like hearing it, she like sidesteps, you know, and just kind of like gives you like the angry eye, like
There were already holes.
I just hold up a silver, put it on the table for next time.
and she goes back in after she sees that.
Is that it? Is that how you play?
What, you don't like weapons?
That was the lie. Yes. I rather enjoy a good weapon.
So does that mean that we all have to drink?
All right.
Yay!
Yeah.
So who got it wrong? Who got it wrong, and who's drinking more? Off your boots. Ermir, Lorelai, and Finn. Did you get it wrong?
I said number 3, so Roaring Bear and I got it right. I'm gonna go try to high five him and be like, okay.
Roll.
I do not want to break your arm.
Please don't.
All right, Lorelai. Cheers.
I rolled a 10.
Okay. Is it straight 10?
Yeah, no, well, that means plus 10 is 10.
Oh, so that's the total.
That's the total.
Lovely.
I'm scared.
Ermir. Oh, is that a nat 20?
20.
I see. Look, y'all can see that. Ermir. We'll start with you because you,
Like it's nothing.
your stomach is already feeling like it's just like, what are you putting inside of me? Like you can feel like cramping in your belly, especially since like you also have not ate anything yet and you're drinking alcohol without eating, like have not ate anything. But
I'm used to skipping a few meals.
But you drink more of that, and it plunges down your throat like a snake, like the slithering slipperiness of it. And like your whole throat is coated in it. And of course your black teeth as well. But you bring your cup back down and you slam it down as you triumphantly keep it down. Lorelai!
Oh, no.
You kind of like swirl it a little bit. Take a deep breath. Knock some more back. And it catches your throat wrong, like a uvula. And you kind of choke it back up, and some of it streaks out of your nose.
No.
And like you kind of like you kind of like tip your glass a little bit, and like some of it goes all over the floor. And then you try to readjust your chair. Make a dex save.
Oh no.
Heck.
If I see this happening, can I assist somehow with whatever is about to happen?
We'll see what she rolls.
Oh, okay. An 8.
Ooh.
An 8?
Yeah.
So, Lorelai, as you try to adjust in your chair, like from the, just being slapped in the face by this drink, your chair moving against the oil, very, very slippery, fluid oil that's down on the ground near your chair, it is the most slippery of substances, and your chair flips. Did you want to do something, Samson?
Yeah,
I want. As you had said you wanted to, so I'll allow you to like.
As the chair is starting to flip, I'm gonna try my best to catch her if I can. Not like the chair. Let the chair go. Just catch the halfling.
Just check that. Just catch the halfling.
Could not be 50 pounds. I'll just try to catch her.
Okay.
And pull her back onto her feet before she hits the ground and gets a concussion.
All right. That would let's make it a dex save for you.
Dex save. Ooh, that's not bad. For me, I do not think I'm proficient, so that's a 13.
A 13?
Yeah.
Okay. So her chair slips and you grab her arm, and she does kind of like fall, like she slips, and you are able to keep her head from hitting the floor, but the rest of her does hit the floor, and I'm guessing you kind of like pull her back up, and she just has like black streaks down the side of her face, down her chin, down her neck, and like it's so fluid and like not viscous, I think that's right, that it's kind of like starting to seep into her shirt, and it's just getting everywhere. And she just looks like, in Mulan, where like she's got like a beard around her face from like the black.
I grab a napkin off the table as I hold her up and say, "Lass, you had one too many drink, or one not enough?"
and with your fail, you are feeling pretty. You're starting to feel drunk.
Great.
Like, woo!
I didn't even drink it, and I'm drunk.
Spilled most of it on the floor.
Well, you did have that other drink. You spilled a good
I
chunk of
did.
it on the floor.
I did. Oh boy.
And the rest of the bar seeing this, not everyone in the bar does this, but you can tell it's the natives as well as Penny. Hearing the clatter of the stool, everyone goes, "Off your boots!" Woo! And they, well, not everyone, but the natives in the bar definitely say that.
The locals.
The locals. Off your boots! Woo! And they down, some of them down their drinks. Like this is a part of their bar culture.
You people have the strangest idea of fun.
We sure do. Priya, who's next?
Is it safe to continue this thing?
Yes, for sure.
She brings out, Penny brings out everyone another round of Off Your Boots.
No, thank you.
I don't trust it.
Keep 'em coming, lass.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright.
Pick Prayaria.
Little one who just fell.
Maybe it's good she gets
Should I
hers done.
stand behind each of them?
Get this one out now. Yeah.
She wipes her nose.
Aww.
All right. I was possessed. I've seen the 9 hells. My family was part of a cult.
And 2 of those are truth?
Is it too late to take that back?
Okay.
I'd love to hear your story.
I look real close. Ha! I have it. You would have been sacrificed if your family was in a cult. You do not get to come back from the 9 hells.
I'm gonna
And
go
you
with
are possessed. That is 3 falses. You dishonor your ancestor.
Is that gonna be? That's gonna be a thing with RB.
I don't think I understand the scream, Roaring Bear.
I'm gonna go with the second one. I think that you have yet to see the 9 hells, and hopefully never do.
I'm the same. I don't think she's seen the 9 hells. Someone like her wouldn't. Their soul wouldn't go there. Someone
She
better
is-
for her.
She does seem a bit happy to have seen the 9 hells.
See, here's the thing, man. When you die, or when you disappear, or when you are sacrificed or killed or whatever, you go wherever you're supposed to be. If any of these are true, 2 of them are. She wouldn't have gone there. I think a different plane for her. And it's definitely not the 9. Doesn't deserve it.
That is strange coming from, what do you say, tiefling?
I don't think you know me very well, Roy and Bear.
I suppose that is what trust building games are for.
If you remember, I just told you I wasn't always a tiefling. That was true.
So,
You make less sense every time you speak.
Thank you.
Hey, Arya.
Who's next?
I suppose I will go with number 3. I don't particularly know why, I am just horrified.
Is that everyone?
I love that.
yeah.
Prayaria's right.
Yes, 3 is the liest of the lies.
I don't know if I should be happy.
Wait, what was the lie? I missed it.
My family wasn't in a cult. I never met them.
Definitely not happy.
Ah, so they could be part of it.
Sounds like you don't know.
Wait, we're
Suppose,
skipping.
but I can't be lying if I don't know.
That's also true.
Skipping
So-
over the fact you've been to the Nine Hells.
I was gonna say that.
Oh.
What's your favorite layer?
What's yours?
Dis, obviously.
I'm so happy because everything here is much easier. But, like
See
I
that?
said, it's a long story for another time. Why don't you go next, Eramir?
Hold on, let me write my notes to ask. Put this down in my notes for later.
But we have to drink.
I already drank.
Anybody
What's
else?
happening?
Is anybody else drinking some off your boots?
Yeah. And a 1.
Did you roll a natural 1? Chat,
Penalized.
spam the chat
Ass is
with
out.
emotes, man. What?
Natural one.
Oh no!
Natural 1.
It's bad.
Oh, oh, oh,
no.
oh! We're gonna get creative with this one. Okay, so in an attempt to, I guess, prove your prowess as a drinker, you weren't quite confident on the first drink, but somehow you kept it down, and you're like, well, hey, yeah, I can do this.
I saw Uramir and I got really inspired. I can do
Inspired.
that.
You down the drink, and it shoots right into your belly. But as you do, you're like, like you hear like all of you hear like this audible like,
Oh no.
Oh, dying.
and it gets really quiet all of a sudden. Somehow it's quieter in the inn as everyone else has turned and seen, like, it was loud. Everyone just kind of like does the slow turn, and they look at you, and Penny, mortified, she's almost like panting, like, oh god, no, not again. Oh god, no. And you feel it start to come back up. And before you can even, like, you grasp the table, and before you can even run off to the loo, you just all over the table, and remember, it's so slick and oily. It's like a tsunami of like black mixed with whatever you had for lunch earlier, and it just like goes over the table and down the sides and on the floor. Everyone make a dex save.
No, I'm so sorry,
no.
everybody.
Yeah.
Aha! 19.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hurry.
I
I rolled
can't
a
see my sheet.
10.
It's dice up.
Oh,
Okay, what are the
Oh,
rolls?
God. Okay.
Oh god.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, Rory.
Poltergeist, vomit, tsunami.
19.
Okay, 19,
14.
10.
14 from Praeria, so fail from Praeria. 10 from Uramir, that's a fail.
Samson has seen this look before. He's like, oh no.
I think Samson the only one that succeeded?
I
Finn,
think so.
Finn, what did you roll? It doesn't matter. No, you rolled natural 1, you fail.
Yeah.
I back up and start looking for a new table.
Hold on, RB, what did you fail? Or what did you? I just assumed. You failed.
What did you fail?
What did you fail?
Oh, 5.
A 5? Great. Okay, so like a bunch of people who have never used roller skates before, just kind of like wobbling with their feet going back and forth, holding and gripping onto the table, trying to stay on. Those of you who fail, Prayer, you failed. You slip and you kind of like smack your head against the side of the table, and like you fall into it, and like you're sitting in it now. And then, Uramir, you failed as well, I believe.
Mhm.
You also slip, and like you were in your chair, you like fall backwards, and now you're in it. And then RB, you're a little ways off, so you attempt to try to get up and avoid the situation because you're a little bit away from the others. And as you do, you kind of like sidestep, and your leg just kind of like Charlie horses out to the side, and like you also slip and fall, but only your legs are in it. And then who am I missing?
Lorelai.
Lorelai, as if it weren't bad enough that you have it like it's still stained to your face. You also slip, and you slip forward onto the table, and you're just kind of like your hair gets in it, and it's just not a good day for you. And then with Samson, he kind of like he grasps onto the table, and he's able to somehow plant his feet in a way. They're still kind of like vibrating from side to side, not vibrating, but like sliding from side to side as he's trying to like maintain like his balance. Did I get everyone? All right, so let's experience that. Everyone react now.
Still not 9 hells.
Finn looks on mortified as he's like trying to cover his hand, but it's dripping down his hand.
Yeah, it's down. It's all down your chin, on your clothes, like you're soaking wet.
I'm so sorry.
All right, you probably should be cut off.
I don't know that I trust you all anymore, but I know that I hate this game.
It just kept coming out, and it wouldn't stop. Can we still play the game?
No, perhaps you can also some water. Maybe that'd be better for everyone.
Yeah, I agree.
Penny, like the entire bar is quiet, and they're all looking at you.
I go, off your boots.
Everyone is dead ass silent, and they are staring Finn down. And they're all like, everyone has this kind of stoic face. And they look at one another.
Are they angry?
Off your boots! And Penny comes out, and she goes, well, we hadn't had one of them in a while. Somebody's got a rumbly tummy. And she just kind of like snaps her fingers, and prestidigitation, like the vomit just disappears. You guys, we usually have one of those a day, but you're the 4th today. I'm just joking, you'll find it. Alright, please don't do that again. Try to keep it down.
I'm just gonna go with water.
Oh, she already has water for
Please. Thank you. Sorry, guys. I thought I was a better drinker. Guess I wasn't.
Penny, could you also get, this?
Oh, she's already gone.
Oh, man.
I hand Lorelai one napkin.
Oh, you can dip it in this water. It'll get it off.
Thanks, guys.
Roaring Bear's still on the ground,
She's just
visibly upset, glowering at
Props.
this blackness on his hands and on his trousers.
She would have cleaned it up.
Can I offer a hand to RB? Just like, sorry, Roaring Bear.
He just kind of slow looks up.
Okay, I'm gonna
Not
take
your
my.
fault.
Oh,
Why I don't drink.
that's probably a good idea. I'm gonna take my flower crown and put it on his head. Be like, there you go. It's a present.
He looks mortified.
An apology present.
Thank you. As he gets back to looking at his newly stained equipment.
Freya is gonna take off her sullied cloak, and from there you can see her light leather armor is just full of pockets, just an obscene amount of pockets.
What do you keep in all those pockets?
Little treasures. Not this.
Not the
She just
vomit.
kind of touches it,
No,
just kind of
no,
pokes at the vomit.
Well,
Oh no.
Revenir stands up, sets his chair back on all fours. He also takes his cloak off and just kind of looks at it, frowns up.
So she used prestidigitation to clean y'all up.
Oh,
That's what that, yeah, like, so, like, it just I don't know if I apologize if I wasn't clear enough on that. So, like, when she came in and she's like, it happens every once in a while, and she snapped her fingers, like, the vomit just kind of, it's not on the table anymore. Yeah.
I'll just take a seat then.
Okay.
Yeah, you can sit back down.
Well, that could have been much worse.
The Roaring Bear is less upset as he inspects his shoes.
so I think Revenir is next.
Well, I think the Lord's choice is that. Is it who's left to go? Finn and Yormir? That's it?
Give Finn a moment to recover. If you don't mind, Iramir.
Well, for all
Finn,
our sakes, I hope Finn gets this one right. All right. 2 truths and a lie, yeah? I've never been outside the city. I'm the son of the greatest inventor in all of Cambria. And my arm isn't my only mechanical limb.
What was the third?
My arm isn't my only mechanical limb.
yeah, he has a mechanical arm, RB.
Oh, I know that. Still shocking.
What was the first one, Yormir? I was sorry, I was taking a drink.
I've never been outside the city. I'm the son of the greatest inventor in all of Cambria. And my arm isn't my only mechanical limb.
Lorelai kind of goes like this and slaps both of her feet on top of his.
like this?
Yeah, like
Like a high five, kind of, or?
yeah, I'm trying to feel around.
Oh, you're feeling around.
I shuffle my feet. I can't make it that easy.
Did you feel anything?
Like washing. Did you?
Well, I'm guessing your father made that arm of yours, which means your father probably made other mechanical presents for you too. So I'm gonna go with number 1.
All right.
I think you just got the arm, mate.
I think it's number 2. I think you made that arm yourself.
But he would dishonor his ancestors if his ancestors were not the greatest.
You
Do
think?
you know anything about our ancestors?
You think?
Have you met them?
Great question.
No.
I'd like to get to know mine.
Yes, you should.
Especially because they're not part of a cult.
So you're to tell me that you think Urmir fancies himself the greatest inventor on the Cambria? Not his father?
Why not?
We don't know enough for it to be out of the question.
It's true, about to find out though.
You have more than one metal part. Yes.
I'll say 2.
that everyone? It was number 3. My arm is my only mechanical limb.
Hold it. Drink anyway.
Yes. Lorelai was right. My father built this for me. And he is the greatest inventor in all of Cambria.
What's his name? Scrolls through notes.
I actually do have that, I can tell you. Give me like 2 seconds. Your father's name is Valerius.
Valerius. Knew it was V
I heard-
something.
Have I heard of Valerius? I am proficient in history and.
No, you wouldn't know them.
Oh, so he's really not the greatest inventor.
I mean, she didn't say that.
It's your insight's terrible. So nope, you don't know. Your passive insight would be terrible.
I just haven't heard of this guy.
So Finn and Prearia, with your passive insight, kind of like gathering from what he has said, to him, like a father and his son, to him, he is the greatest inventor. Does that make sense? So
I think
while
he's telling the truth.
you know what I mean when I say that?
Yes.
He's not like newspaper famous, but he genuinely, like, Uramir genuinely believes that his father is the greatest inventor.
It's because he is.
I think he's telling the truth.
Wear your arm with pride. As he extends a hand.
Does he? He's reaching out to shake your hand, Uramir.
He hesitates and kind of wiggles his mechanical fingers and reaches out and shakes it back.
Strong.
Thank you. I'm still kind of getting used to it, you know?
New.
Yeah.
Strong will.
Prairie, you would easily be able to see with your passive perception, like slightly underneath his cloak, as you kind of like watch from the side, like it's still a fairly fresh wound, and like the irritation of his arm not being there, it's not scarred over at all yet. It's a very fresh wound arm attachment.
Okay, she's gonna make note of that, but keep that in her mind for later.
All right. Finn, you good?
Last but not least,
Yes. Okay. 2 truths and 1 lie. All right. I think I got this. Still taste it in my mouth. Okay. So
oh yeah, it's like that post-vomit burn that you got going on.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Number 1. I just arrived in Cambria because I got a little sidetracked by getting captured by pirates. Number 2. I then proceeded to fight off those pirates with offensive magic and sheer strength, which won me my freedom. And number 3, I'm a vegetarian.
I love
Look
Finn.
at what Finn is eating.
I'm eating bread.
Scratch, scratch. Walks over, reaches into pouch, pulls out rabbit leg,
Oh, no.
begins eating rabbit leg. Nom nom.
Are you trying to elicit a reaction?
Yes.
Are you gonna try to like not let him see your reaction to this?
Sure. So he's just like trying to like keep a
trying to keep a solid face. We're not going to announce the kind of roll. You already know the kind of roll it will be. So roll that against his perception. So you both make rolls against one another.
Do I know what it's gonna be?
I will. I will. I mean, you should.
Am I trying to deceive? I mean,
Are you?
yes.
Davis, cover your ears.
It's deception.
Yes, that's what I'm rolling right now.
I didn't want to say it out loud.
No.
Well,
Okay.
it says it on the foundry.
It does. That's why I was so confused. I'm like, are you trying to tell me about it?
Use your eyes.
Use your blink twice if it's no.
All right, hey, sounds like Roaring Bear doesn't know.
What did you roll?
Yeah, not with that roll.
RB?
A 9.
You're not sure. She's just squinting really hard. Or he's just squinting really hard
He just kind
to
of
try to cover up his...
puts away the leg, takes out the pelt, and starts cleaning on it.
Ooh.
Fresh today. Are you sure you don't want some?
No, thank you. I've got bread right here. And also vomit taste in my mouth.
Delicious.
All right, what do you guys think?
Well, if you fight as well as you drink, I'd have to say number 2's the lie.
I don't mean it the wrong way, but I have to agree.
I don't think anyone would want to hit you, Finn. You probably didn't have to fight your way out of there.
I would believe you got lost. And I would believe you are a vegetarian. I don't want to judge how well you fight by how you look, but I'm also going to go number 2.
I don't want to judge how you are, but I am.
Totally gonna do that. RB?
I think I could beat you at arm wrestling. I think you have a not fighting personality.
Okay, was it really that obvious? Everybody got it right. Good job.
I'm just glad we don't have
We
to
can
go
fix this.
You
Wrestling tomorrow.
you all finish up with your game, and a half orc walks in with like moon spectacles, and he approaches Penny, and she kind of points over to your table, and he walks over, and he kind of has his hands behind his back. He's back straight, very proper, and he goes, "You must all be who Revenir has told me about. Yes. Shall we continue? She's waiting for you."
We get our food yet?
Oh, you've had your food the entire time. Like, you've had your food and your drink the entire time. Do you pick up the bowl and take
I
it with
remember
you?
you said at one point that our food wasn't there yet. So.
No, I brought your food and drink at the same time. Remember the prawns and the tomato sauce? No?
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
They still have their heads on them.
Whoa, Mr. Groon, I'm so sorry. I know that you had this idea, but I am the driver of this party. Team, are we ready to meet Revenir again and learn what is more about us? Or is there more to discuss here?
Can I get a to-go plate?
Of course.
Then let's go.
Well,
Before we go, is there anything you need to know before we leave this table? Because when we go there, we will meet Revenir, and she will tell us something that is of import, I'm sure. Is there anything you do not want to do with this group we have right now?
You are the driver.
I'm the driver, yeah.
I do not understand, but she said something about me being the hunter.
Yeah,
Does
man.
everyone have a purpose?
She just told me she thought I was interesting.
That's hard to make.
It's true.
Would we be here if we didn't?
I just wanted to know if people had any concept of what they were doing.
Well, if we're going to be on the road, we'll have plenty of time to discuss our roles later. Why don't we go find out what our quest is?
Is there anyone who wants to back out now?
You know, I've had a lot of fun playing this game with everybody, and I think all of you are great, so I'm in.
Same.
Very optimistic.
What's there not to be?
So let's go.
We have a purpose. So I drive us forward.
I think we will fall off a cliff if I do not go.
All right. So, he takes you all down the stairs to the third floor cave system of rooms. There's a long passageway that's lit with torches that branch off from the other guest rooms. He leads you down seemingly to a dead end. He takes a deep breath and whispers a few words. Does anyone speak Quarry?
I do.
You do. So you can tell as he speaks with your passive insight that he's having a little trouble with the pronunciation, and it actually has to start. He actually has to start over a few times and try again before he gets it right. The first, it sounds like he's saying "need forgery, robust, rat's yearn." But once he gets it right, it comes out "never forgotten, remember, return." And the glyphs on the door illuminate, and the rock wall moves, opening into an antechamber room with a coat rack and a bookshelf. Then a few steps ahead of that, you see this main chamber with a long wooden dining room table with a few short tunnels that kind of branch off into, a bedroom, candlelit study, a kitchen, a guest room, and then there's just another passageway that kind of continues and leads on. And a small alcove with wine bottles that are built into the cave walls. Most striking feature is the pluming chandelier-like glowing flowers that pour from the ceiling over the dining room table. They're white, but the light they cast gives off this warm yellow glow. While the scent of your own rooms will have a damp and somewhat musty scent, kind of reminiscent of your typical cavern, this chamber smells sweet and fresh, like the scent of damp soil with a twist of dew on sweet grass from an early morn. And then Revenir Thorne emerges from the study to meet you all. She is quiet, but her face betrays an aura of perturbance. She places both hands on the table, looking down at the handwritten records. She's quiet for a moment, as the weight of the situation begins to increase. I need your help. She looks at you all of you. I see something in each of you. I cannot do this alone. The city knows my face, and if a hint of suspicion is recognized, I fear the insects will scatter. The city beneath the Cambria is about to see a famine unlike it's ever seen, and we must stop it. And that's where we're gonna end. That is where we're going to end this evening. It went on a little longer than we had anticipated, so I'm sorry for that, everyone out there. I don't know how many people are out watching right now, but it did go on a little long. Before we get done though, we need to do our giveaway. So boop 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 a doop a doop boop. I'm gonna open it up one more time. If everyone go ahead and command loot. No, yes. The command exclamation mark loot. One more time, please. Please, with cheese.
Y'all, thank you so much for everyone who has joined us for this evening for the first episode of Fate's End. Thank you all so much. And,
yes.
Congratulations to the cast. A long time in the making. Excellent effort, everyone.
Yes, so exclamation mark loot. I'm gonna give you guys a couple more minutes. Yeah, so again, like we didn't anticipate it going this long. We usually want to try to end about 11 or what, 10:30? Is that where we're trying to aim for, Daniel?
Yeah, this is about what you can expect, somewhere between 10:30
and for future reference.
10:30 and 11:30 Central Standard Time. We're trying to shoot for that three and a half hour mark.
Pour in all those delicious entries. Pour them in, my sweets. Pour them in. I want more.
Yeah, but this is about what you can expect as you continue. Hopefully, as you continue to watch Fate's End, and as we continue to grow and learn about these characters and all that.
While you guys enter too, let me send some shout out thanks to all the people out there. A list here. We got so many followers. Thank you to Big Breath, to Vermulum, Save Disc, Natalie here for the follow, Sheriff of London, Kawana Wonga, Alex the Photographer, Ava Darling 25, Freya Hawk, Danielle Lenoir, Tanya Schofield 9, Pretty Psycho 007, very cool name, Midagi 325, Yummy Noise. Let's go Regard, Bo Donut, Beb Westy, J Pop 16, Captain Soda Pop, love that one too. The Frostdeer 01, Wrong Buttons, Duran Jar, Desecrated _Corpse, Daddy Devitt 0, Minty Rose Galaxy, Sometimes Squire, Alley Cat Blues, Sentinel the 199, Slipnotic Psycho. That's a great one too. Kate Leb the Brave, and Anethia? It's funny, that's actually like an NPC name. Elsie Renee Harris, Koru, Maker and Geek, John 10113. Thank you guys so much for the follows. Thank you so much. Zyclone X, Victoria HN, Victorian, Tuxon, CR Wanthy Good, Inept Life, Trivial Paroxysm, Matthew Raccoon, Maverick 2, or Shuri Paliaco, Lotsky for the 5 bits, cheer. Yeti Actual, thank you for the subscribe. Hatcher Actor for the subscribe. Fuzzy One True King, another great name. You guys are so creative. Maker and Geek for the subscribe. Thank you so much. Bionic Wolf, you are a beast. You gifted like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 subs. Thank you for gifting that to everyone. Tasha Jane, CR Wanthy Good, some bits. I guess I'm gonna do that every time we get bits now. That's gonna be a thing now. Danielle Lenoir, I love it. Thank you for the subscription. You have done me service. Yes. I don't know what I'm saying there. Party with Fans. Thank you for the follow. Eve Moore, Ruin Wonderland. CR Wanthy Good. Bits. Thank you. Lotsky. Bits. Evermore 12. Drake and Death. Lawful Stupid RPG has rated you with a party of 25. Thank you for that. That is amazing. Love your name as well. Elias Prime X 007 Goofy. I'm almost done. Opera Sun, Rico Mayoko. Lawful Stupid RPG also with the follow. A Cat Attack has followed CR Wanthy Good with the bits. Bigo Steve, Doomdog 27, CR Wanthy Good, bits again. Wolf with the bits. I'm like the boats girl from How I Met Your Mother. Boats. CR Wantygood for the kill. A cheer for when Davis killed the rabbit. Or Roaring Bear killed the rabbit. Zen Vicious, Shellcat, CR Wantygood with more bits. Lucid Lux, Nicole, Technus154, Pop Tart T, gosh, another great name. Mr. Stancel, Raging Doomfire, and The Price is Right 2293. Of course, The Price is Right. Thank you all so much. We are overwhelmed. We love you all so much.
Let's
We
give
hope
a round
you.
of applause to our players.
Gosh, yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you. So now let's go ahead and draw after that long speech. Let's draw our winner here. I'm gonna go ahead and refresh. Just to be safe.
Y'all, we are here every Monday at 7:30 Central Standard Time. You can see this campaign. We are hoping to run it all the way to level 20. That is the plan, and you'll see everyone here. Hopefully with the same characters, unless we die. But you'll see us all here 7:30 Central Standard Time.
Ooh! Our winner is Nicole. Yes. I love you. I love you. I give you the pin. Yes, Nicole. You win. You win. You win. I don't know if she's still in chat. Yeah, let me check chat here. So yes, I will, oh yay, Sape! You're there! Yay! You win the limited edition, enamel pin. We'll send you a message and we'll get that from you. And then the rest of you can always enter for our next stream because we're going to be doing this until we're out. I think we have like 18 left, maybe 15. But yes. All right, we'll be sending that to you, Nicole, you beautiful thing, you.
Yes, Nicole is getting a pen from us.
Yes.
You should all feel very special because you were here for the first episode live. So if you're seeing this right now and Lauren and I and the cast here are talking to you, you're a part of something special, as it is the first episode of Fate's End, which we hope to continue on and grow. And we can't thank you enough for your support and everything that you're doing here with us.
All right, and I think that's it, guys. Thank you again. Nicole, I will get your address and we will send this to you as soon as possible. Yes, you're beautiful. All right, guys. Thank you so much again, and we will see you next Monday. Or if you want to tune into Iron Valor, we have that on Wednesdays. It's more PvP combat heavy, if you guys like that, whereas Fate's End is more our roleplay heavy. But yes, so that on Wednesday, as well as Fridays, where we have a short rest and we just chill and play video games and chat. So there's that too. So thank you so much. We love you all, and we are just so humbled by the turnout. We'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Bye. Bye, guys.